Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for the very first time on the Midnight Podcast. So this is not just new to you lot, this is new to me as well. And my guests, lovely guests that we have on tonight, first time for the debut edition of the live Midnight Podcast from here on out, is Brenton Foale. Now, did I get Foale correctly or did I get it wrong?
No, it's Foale, like a baby horse with an E on the end.
Oh, Foale, beautiful, beautiful. Awesome. Yeah, sometimes it's tricky when you're looking at a surname and you're trying to get it right. Sometimes, and I always feel silly, like I try to get it right, but some names are just so hard to sort of guess. How you been, Brenton? You been good?
Yeah, really good, man, really good. Yeah.
Awesome, man, awesome. So, for the people that may not know you, tell us, well, everything about yourself.
All right. Okay, so I grew up in Adelaide. That's where I got my first, my interest in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And then when I was 17, moved to Melbourne with my family. My father got a job in Melbourne, so I moved over there.
Yeah.
And for the last 18 or 19 months, I've been living in WA.
Beautiful.
So, just to make everyone back home in Melbourne feel jealous, it's been nice weather lately. It's been warm. We get, there's actually this thing up in the sky called a sun, which I don't think Melbourne sees much of it.
We certainly don't. Well, I'll tell you what, we're doing better than the UK, so at least we've got that under our belt.
That's right.
But man, I'll tell you, the last time we spoke, you did tell me you went to Perth, to WA, and I'll tell you what, man, it's a bit of a switch going from Melbourne to Perth. That's for sure.
It definitely is. Like I said, the climate is so much nicer here.
Yeah.
The weather is beautiful, and it's great for filming and everything.
Yeah, I could imagine. So, I could imagine. I mean, in terms of locations in Perth, I would imagine there's quite a number of really good ones.
Some really good locations here. There's a film that I'm writing at the moment, which I'm going to film up in the Kimberleys.
Oh, wow.
And, oh, my God, the Kimberleys is beautiful.
Yeah, man, I heard they're astonishing.
Yeah. You remember Baz Luhrmann's Australia?
Yes, yep.
Yep. Most of that was filmed in the Kimberleys.
Oh,
all the stuff, all the outback scenes were filmed in the Kimberleys.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, man, it's got amazing outbacks over there. I'll tell you. I mean, look, to my knowledge, Adelaide has some pretty good outbacks, and so does Perth. In terms of filming, I heard Brisbane up in Queensland can be quite good for filming. A lot of American productions go there to film. But, we've had a fair few in Melbourne. But not as much.
I mean, look, Ghost Rider was filmed in Melbourne.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, and I remember going to see that. Didn't know it was filmed in Melbourne at the time.
They do not a bad job. Yeah, they do not.
Their location spotting the entire time.
Yeah, I mean they do a pretty good job at trying to hide it, but people that know Melbourne know exactly where all the scenes have been shot.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I was about probably 10 or 11, around that age. Back in Adelaide, there was a film that was being made, and it was I can't remember who the author of the book was, but it was called Survivor.
Ah, okay.
And it was the book was really good. The film was incredible. The experience of actually being there when it was about a plane crash.
Oh, okay.
And the plane crashes right at the very start of the film.
Oh, Jesus! They don't waste any time.
So the whole film is a supernatural thriller type thing, and only I think it was the co-pilot. He was the only one who gets out of the plane alive.
Wow!
And with Jenny Agutter,
yeah.
What was his name? Robert Powell, I think was his name.
Yep.
And he teams up with Jenny Agutter, who's a psychic, and she's been seeing all these visions, and she's got to try and help him solve what happened to the plane, why the plane blew up.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Look, it was a really good film.
Wow.
And again, awesome. It was a case of sitting there in location.
Yeah, bloody oath.
but the fuselage of the plane, because they had this massive fuselage of the plane all in pieces.
Yeah.
At what was supposed to be the crash site.
Yeah.
And it was a massive park in Pasadena, I think it was.
Wow.
In Adelaide.
Wow.
And the plane was there for months, waiting for them to be able to shoot this explosion scene.
Yeah.
And there was a TV show. We drove past all the time. There was security all over the place.
Wow.
There was no way you could ever anywhere near this.
And there's a lot that goes into it, man. A lot of people don't know there's a lot that goes into it, into doing a scene and preparing.
Definitely. It takes years to make a film.
Yeah, absolutely.
To make a decent film, it takes years.
Yeah.
But this plane, I was watching Ann Will's Movie World one night, and she, I don't know if she's still around or if the TV show's still on. It was in Adelaide. But she said, the plane for Survivor is going to be blowing up at whatever time tonight. So, found their night. We all went down there, and with thousands of others all behind the camera, just watching and waiting for this plane to blow up.
Yeah. And the thing is, you only get one take to do that. so you got to have your fingers crossed that you get it right.
It doesn't look so spectacular. You can tell it was charges, boom, 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 all in a row, rather than massive explosion.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was a huge thrill.
Absolutely.
Blown up, it was great.
And I guess when something blows up, it's hard for it to go wrong. I mean, it still can, I shouldn't say, but it's hard for it to go wrong. But it's like, because you only get one take, and with other action scenes where you only have that one take for a particular scene, it's like, everyone's like just hoping, let's just hope this goes right. Let's just hope nothing happens. Because that's the one take.
Well, that's right. And I mean, you ever see that film, The Party?
I've heard of it.
Peter Sellers' film, right?
Heard of it.
And he plays an extra in a film.
Okay.
And at the start of the film, he's playing this extra, and he's stumbling around, and he's just completely destroyed this film. It's the fuzzy wuzzies and so forth. During the Boer War, whatever it was. I don't know. It was one of those pieces, and he's gone up, and his job was to go up and slice the throat of this guy.
Oh wow! Okay.
Strangle this guy or something.
Wow.
And the director calls cut, and he says, "Did they have Timex watches back in those days?" He says, "Oh no, they didn't have them." Okay. Have you got the time? And he looks at his watch, and then later on, he's up on the hill, and he's got the trumpet, and he's calling the charge, and so he gets shot, and as he's dying, he keeps blowing the trumpet, and he just won't die.
Wow.
And so in the end, all his own army turned around and started shooting at him. But the biggest part, this multi-million-dollar fortress that had been built. They've got one of those old plunger things, to detonate it.
Yeah, wow.
And the director says, "Now don't drop the plunger until I drop my hand. What's in my hand?" And the special effects tech guy is sitting there, and he's wired it all up. He's watching. Anyway, along comes Peter Sellers, and he's trying to do up his shoe or something, and he puts his foot in the plunger.
Oh no!
The fortress just blows up.
Oh no!
And that's only in the first 10 minutes or something, and then it's his name gets inadvertently added to a list of party invites to the producer's place, and he trashes the house. And
wow.
Peter Sellers, very funny man.
Wow. And you get a lot of characters like that, man, I'll tell you. And that sounds like a complete nightmare. A lot of scenes are to do. And it's like you said, man, a lot of books turn into films and shows. It's amazing. I mean, I was with my cousin today, and we were at a bookshop. Surprisingly, because a lot of bookshops have closed, unfortunately. But, I mean, look, I live near Chadstone, and Chadstone has several, at least 3 that I'm aware of. So Borders closed down. I mean, Borders was Australia-wide. I miss Borders. Borders was awesome. And you can go in there and
closed down everywhere,
Yeah, and you could actually go read a book. I think the problem was you could actually have like a cup of coffee or, you know, like a donut. I don't know if I don't believe they serve dinner. So it became like a library. That's why I think it lost its touch in terms of selling. Which is a shame, but I miss Borders. But there are a few that are still out there, but a lot of them now, as you know, are online. So everything's an ebook these days. And even hard copied books, you sell them online. That's just the norm, unfortunately. Now, I still prefer a hard cover to watch and read, you know, and to select in a store over going online. And I'll tell you what, man, when you're reading an ebook, sure, I mean, you can read it on your tablet, but a tablet runs.
Where do you put your bookmark?
Well, exactly. I'm assuming. I mean, you know, people out there can say,
"Oh, have your dog in the corner on Kindle."
I mean, we're going to have people say to us, "Oh, well, you can bookmark it digitally." Yeah, but what happens if the battery runs out? A book never runs out of battery.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
Checkmate.
I'd much rather sit there. with a good paperback in my hand. Than sit there with some electronic device trying to read a book.
Exactly. I mean, when I'm flying to Los Angeles, it's a long freaking flight, you know, long haul, and I don't want to have my tablet, you know, shining in everyone's faces while they're trying to sleep next to me and sticking it into the seat where the USB power is. If you have a book, easy as pie.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, man, it's like I was saying to my cousin, these books, like when you pick one up and you read it, that's like a script. Every book in a bookstore is a script for a movie or a show. All you got to do is convert it into a script and you're good to go. So I think that's where most movies and shows come from.
Well, that's right. I mean, you know, there's I'm doing this stage show over here.
Yes, you'll tell us about that. Yep.
Right. Now, the Breakfast Club's set in the library, right? School library. These kids are all in detention, Saturday detention. So they're all in the library.
And Saturday detention. Well, I mean, growing up, when you got detention after school, you knew it was bad. When you got a Saturday detention, you knew it was horrific.
Yeah. So these kids, you know, and I had to get, you know, to fill the shelves because obviously being a library, it had to have books in it.
Yep.
So, you know, I had to get all these books. Thankfully, a lot of people were getting rid of books. You know, I just went on Facebook and I said, look, I need a massive amount of books. Yeah. Because we've got, 10 metres by 3 or 4. There's about 40 metres worth of shelving.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Have books spine.
Wow.
And I've got, you should see how many boxes of books I've got in my office right now. Yeah.
Holy moly.
Because everyone just came forward and said, look, I've got a whole heap of books, you know, and Lions Club actually donated us 15 boxes full of books.
Oh, beautiful.
And it was just a huge amount of books that I've got here, you know, and but it's
wow. Yeah, I mean,
in there too.
I know, man. It comes in handy, man. I mean, you need to fill up those shelves for the scene. You know, they can't be empty. So that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah. It was a huge amount, and there's I mean, you know, some of the treasures that I've got. I mean, you know, there's Stephen King and Dean Koontz and whoever else. You know, there was also a copy of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, you know? Wow.
Admittedly, I mean, that came in the 80s.
Yeah, but
I've never read it.
Yeah, classics.
I've never actually read it, you know, and all of a sudden I've got this book there, you know, so, you know.
It's amazing. It's like you eventually get all these books because you want them as props for a scene, but then at the end of the day, after you're done with the scene, you take them all home because you just want them. They sound so good.
Well, I'll read them, but I'll read a couple that I want to read. But most of them are actually going to charity.
Awesome.
Either donating them to op shops and so forth.
Yeah, for people to read. Yeah,
even to prisons, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially there, it gives them something to do, you know. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, look, talking of prisons, you get a lot of, some people might, play devil's advocate and say, oh, why are you giving them books? They're prisoners. They should be punished. You get a lot of people that they just get, on the bad side of life, and they're actually good people. And a lot of people are in there for minor reasons, but the law can be quite hefty, and they need something to do in there. And books, reading is quite good.
Yeah, and they, as you said, it's sort of yes, they're good for the prisoners because they just relax when they're reading.
Yeah, that's right. Spot on.
If they're not doing that, what are they doing? Yeah?
Exactly. Spot on.
Spot
on. Yeah, so that's awesome. So rehearsals, you were telling me you had rehearsals the other night. How did that go?
Really good. We opened 4 weeks 4 weeks tomorrow. We open for the Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
the first official stage adaptation of the Breakfast Club here in Australia.
Yeah.
I actually optioned it. So this is the thing: the Breakfast Club, you can't just buy the rights.
Yeah.
I actually optioned a couple of years ago to adapt it for stage.
Yep.
Because I always looked at the Breakfast Club and thought, okay, it's primarily one set.
Yeah.
It can be done on stage. So I actually optioned, and this is the only way I could get it. I optioned in order to adapt it for stage.
Yeah.
And it got approved.
Beautiful.
Pretty penny, but it was something that I thought, I can do that.
Awesome.
So I had a 3-year option to do it.
Yeah.
And,
wow.
So that expires at the end of this year. So back
That's
in December,
awesome.
I formed Fremantle Performing Artists, which is a community theatre group. And our first show is going to be the Breakfast Club.
Beautiful.
Next year it's going to be To Serve With Love.
Oh, nice.
So, but the Breakfast Club, we've got some fantastic cast. Blair Allen is playing Bender. And
okay.
Now, Bender, of course, is the criminal. He was the one that was played by Judd Nelson.
Yes. Yeah.
And he now Blair is a Whopper, a Whopper graduate.
Yeah.
Western Australian Academy of the Performing Arts. So the Whopper is pretty much the same as NIDA.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
And it's huge here in WA.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Now his talent is incredible.
Wow.
He brings so much to that character, and I've actually seen his notes on his script. His script is full of handwritten notes, and I've looked at it and I've gone, wow, this guy, not only has he sat there and learnt his lines and learnt the blocking and all the rest of it, he's actually worked out how to get the emotions. He's worked
incredible,
out
incredible,
He's incredible.
You get some. I mean, look, you get a lot of
Westcott King now. She came on board later. She's only been attached for probably 2 months.
Okay.
She plays Claire.
Okay.
Which is Molly Ringwald's character. And what she brings to the role is incredible too. She's a really gifted actress. Very talented. She's been involved in fringe festivals and things like that.
Nice.
She learnt the entire script within 2 weeks. She was off script.
Holy moly! Wow!
Yeah, and to be off script within 2 weeks for a stage show is pretty damn good.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane.
Then we've got Cameron Fawcett, who plays Andrew, which was Emilio Estevez's character. Cameron this is Cameron's first community theatre production. He's only ever done high school productions before. And he's watching Cameron's journey through this as he's become, as he's developed his character and so forth. He's going to be someone to watch out for as well.
Yeah, wow. And I'll tell you what, man, theatre, if you're putting TV and theatre together, in my opinion, theatre is always the one that's going to win in terms of like how hard you have to work. Because when you're on a set, someone can yell action 50 times, but when you're on a stage, action gets shouted once.
You don't get a chance. You don't get, there's no second or third or fourth.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one shot.
Yeah,
if you're up on stage, you screw up.
Exactly, and it's because I've got a cousin, because in the family we've got a few performers, and I've got a cousin. Shout out to Kurt in Vancouver at the moment, and he's doing theatre. And I was saying to the mum and dad, I'm like, I believe he's 19 or 20, and he just graduated, and he's gone to the performing arts school over there, and he's awesome. He's so freaking cool, and he loves theatre. I mean, he could transition over to film and television, but he just loves theatre, Brenton. He loves it to death. And the stress that would go into that. I mean, I've done a little bit of theatre, not a great deal. I'm more into film and television, but when I was doing theatre, I would be behind the curtain looking at who's going up next, on the sheet, and my leg would shake. It's daunting.
Well, theatre's exciting. Theatre is very exciting. I have to give a shout out to the other cast members.
Yep, sure, yeah.
That's Rebecca Collin, who plays Alison.
Yep.
She's character. Rebecca, she has, she's come a long way. She's an incredible actress herself, but she owns the role. And quite often I might refer to some of the others by their real names, like Blair and Cameron and that.
Yeah.
But every time I'm referring to Rebecca, this is no joke. Every time I'm referring to Rebecca, I'm always calling her Alison. I can only see Alison when I'm looking at Rebecca. She just plays that role so well.
Yeah. You get some people that are just truly talented at what they do. It's awesome.
Yeah, and the other actor I've got to mention too is he's an incredible actor. And that's Archer Langwood, I think you said.
Okay.
Langwood. Or Larwood. Anyway, Archer is he plays Brian.
Oh, okay, nice.
Anthony Michael Hall's character.
Yeah.
The brain, the nerdy guy. And I've seen during rehearsals, I see Archie bring all these emotions to the character.
Yeah.
Anthony Michael Hall could not cry on set. If you watch the movie, there's a scene where he's supposed to be all upset and crying and all the rest of it, and it looks so fake.
And he couldn't do it.
He dies with his arm because he couldn't get tears.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard to tickle.
Archie brings so much emotion to the character.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
As an incredible actor, and even if you're that damn good, it's hard to tick all the boxes because no one's perfect. Very, very rarely you would get someone that's damn near perfect. And when you have an actor like that, you got to scoop them up, sign them away pronto.
Well, we've been rehearsing this since auditions for the 2nd of March. And we've been auditioning ever since then, and rehearsing ever since then.
Yeah.
And the dedication these guys have put in, they come along to twice a week during school holidays. They're there almost every day rehearsing.
Wow, good on them.
And they're really good. They're really good cast members. And, I will endorse them for any role they ever want.
Absolutely. And you know what? I mean, I wish. I mean, we can sit here and wish, but I guess figure of speech. But I do wish I could have been super young, like when I first started acting. I mean, look, I've always loved, like in primary school, I would go on, on the stage and do theatre, for the grade 4s and 5s. In high school, I was number 1 in my class in theatre. And I just never pursued it officially. Like I never officially got into it. It was always more like an enjoyment, something I really loved and excelled at. I didn't really start getting into acting until 19. And I mean, look, some people don't get into acting until their 30s. Some people don't make it until their 40s. But yeah, I mean, look, Morgan Freeman, he didn't make it until 52.
Yeah.
So, but I kind of wish the younger the better in terms of.
He was 40 when he first started acting.
Yeah.
Around 40.
And then it took him so long to finally get on the map. Yeah.
He was in Brubaker.
Yeah.
That's
it.
And he played
and you work your way up.
Role as a prisoner in that. And that was his first acting job. Yeah. To my memory, from memory, that was his first acting job.
I mean, look, Dwayne Johnson, and people can say he's not the greatest of all actors in the world, but goodness gracious, is he popular? And he gets so many roles, and his physique as well. I mean, look, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think we can agree, wasn't the greatest actor in the world, not by a long shot, but he had the look, he had the physique, and he can deliver. And that's all you really need.
You're talking about Mr. Universe now.
Well, and that as well.
He was a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He was a bodybuilder. He couldn't even speak English.
Yeah.
And he had to be dubbed over in one of his early films, which was Hercules Goes Bananas or something.
Yeah, I heard something about that. Yeah.
Stupid film, where he was playing Hercules, and it was. I think it was Hercules in New York City or something like that, from memory. It was so stupid. But, he was cast because of his physique. And look at him now.
That's right.
Good on Ernie, And,
that's right. Legend.
Very versatile actor.
Yeah.
He doesn't just do, he could have just done, action and all the rest of it, like Terminator and the Predator and things like that. Yeah. Look, he's done comedy.
Yeah, he did so many, man. Yeah, and they all started. Look, and he started late in his career. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He was a wrestler beforehand.
He was a wrestler.
But he started his acting in his early 40s. So everyone,
exactly.
And it's a bit ironic because they feed us this notion that the younger we do go and do this, the better. I just said it myself. I'm a prime example of that very notion. But truth be told, at any age you can do what you want to do, and it's not just in acting; it's in anything, but especially in acting, because there's no discrimination against roles. You could be looking for someone to play a professor who's in his late 50s. So it doesn't mean just because you're in your late 50s you're screwed.
That's right. I mean, a lot of actors from the 70s too are still going. Yeah. Still going strong. Look at Ellen Mirren, or Mirren, however you pronounce the name. Have a look at Judi Dench.
Yeah.
I mean, she was recently playing M in the James Bond films, and then she went on and did. I think it was Victoria and Abdul, or Victoria and Albert.
I know the one. Yeah, I think I know the one. Yeah.
Look, she started out on television. Yeah. Even before that, I think she was doing Shakespearean plays. Yeah,
that's right.
But she's still going, and she's
Now, what I've noticed, I mean, look, and it can be good learning from a young age, and that's just more under your belt. But a lot of people, a lot of people, Brenton, get worn out. I mean, look, if you start a career early when you're 16, 17, even earlier than that. I mean, the Home Alone actor, his surname's hard to pronounce. I'm so bad with surnames. Even his first name's bloody horrible to pronounce. Macaulay Culkin. I sort of got it right. He started from as young as 7 or 8 or 9, I believe, something like that.
I think the problem there was he was a child actor. And he was cute and all the rest.
They get worn out, Brenton.
In those Home Alone films.
Yeah. Once you start at 9 and then you reach 22, 23, by 22 and 23, you've pretty much, you're fed up. You want to retire. And who retires at 23 is young, but that's what happens when you start super early. Now that's not with everyone, but I think there's a bit of a blessing with starting at a later time.
Mm.
Yeah. So it just
you look at a lot of child actors out there, though, they disappear for a while and then they come back. And you had what was his name? I can't think of his name right now. Incredible. He was an incredible actor. He was in. Ricky Schroder.
Okay. Yep.
Ricky Schroder. You know, he first came to light when he was in The Champ with John Boyd and Faye Dunaway.
Okay.
Now, if you haven't seen that film, you've got to see that film.
Yeah. Right? All right. I'll look into it.
His acting. He was only about 7, 8, and he was incredible.
Wow.
He disappeared and came back later on in a TV show which was absolutely stupid called Silver Spoons.
Yeah.
And then we didn't hear anything more from him after the 80s until the 90s. He did a couple of films.
Yeah.
He's disappeared off the radar. What happened?
And look, sometimes it can be the person that it's he's at fault. Sometimes it could be just the show that he's in or the movie. Like there's such a stinker of a production where that ended his career. It's tricky. It really is.
Yeah. Other characters that have started off in their teens or early 20s or something, and then they've disappeared for
that happens a lot.
They got involved in things they shouldn't have got involved in. You've got what's her name from Firestarter and E.T. Drew Barrymore. She disappeared for a while, and she came back and she made a comeback.
Well, that's it.
She's doing well for herself now.
I mean, I knew. I knew one.
Plays Iron Man.
What's his name? Is it? I think I know.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
Right. I remember seeing him. He was very punky. He had blue hair and everything, and he dressed really weird in films like Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. And then he disappeared. He got heavily involved in drugs and all that.
Which a lot do. Yeah.
And look at his comeback. Iron Man.
That's right. People can come back, man. People can come back and change their lives.
Of course, he did the Sherlock Holmes films, and he's good. So hats off to him for beating their addictions and coming back.
Absolutely. Because it's not easy, man. It's not easy. Everyone's got their demons. Whether it's food, whether it's drinking, whether it's drugs, everyone's got something, and it can cripple you. It really can. And not to mention, just the industry alone is so stressful, and it can be full of snakes.
It is. It's a very stressful industry, and a lot of people don't understand that about the industry. They look at movies and go, "Oh, it must be so easy to be an actor. It must be so easy to be a director." It's not. It's not easy.
Spot on.
And I mean, you've got for a 1.5 to 2 hour movie. Every day you could be on set for 16 hours.
That's right. That's right.
That's a long time.
And a lot of time. And a lot of time you could be just sitting around and just waiting for people to call you up, and it's tiresome. It gets tiring. Mentally draining.
That's right. But and directors go through it too. The director is there all the time. An actor might only have a few scenes each day.
That's right.
It might be a few hours here and there, but the director is there from start to finish.
Spot on.
There he's the first person on location.
And he's the last one to leave.
The last person to leave.
Spot on. That's exactly right. And man, it's a stressful industry. It really is. I mean, look, there was a woman, I believe her name was Ali Lada. She's gone again. She's vanished. But she was in the Final Destination films early on, in her early 20s. She left. She had enough. She couldn't stand it. She hated Hollywood. And then she came back when Heroes, made its initial debut. And she came back and she was on fire. And then after Heroes, she left again. I always say you're only as good as your last project. You get a lot of people with an ego. You get a lot of people that get cocky. Never get cocky. Don't have an ego because you don't know when you got to hang it up. You just don't know.
That's right. That's right. I was talking about the directors and how much stress they go through. I played a cameo role in a film couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, The Legend of Ben Hall.
Ah, yes, nice, lovely.
Great film.
Lovely.
Beautiful film.
Beautiful,
and, well shot and all the rest of it.
It was good.
Now, the director, Matthew Holmes, he lost so much weight making that movie. Because it was not an easy, film to make. It wasn't easy. I was only on set for I think a total of 6 days. That included helping out as unit manager for one day. I was there total of 6 days. To film. And Matthew, of course, he was there all the time. And like I said, incredible film.
It is
incredibly passionate about the industry. He's same as me, same as you. And I mean, the work that he put into that, you could see where the work.
They put a lot of work into that. I mean, I know some people that were a part of that, and the effort that everyone put was incredible, just absolutely phenomenal. Very good film, very unique. It's definitely worth a watch if people want to check it out. The Legend of Ben Hall, beautiful.
If you like Australian films, make sure you see The Legend of Ben Hall, because it was a really good film.
Nicely done.
I mean, we've seen the Ned Kelly films, and we've seen Robbery Underarms. We've seen all of them. But The Legend of Ben Hall was, painstakingly. Matthew actually put a lot of effort into research. He could have created something fictional.
But that's exactly right.
He researched everything, and he made sure that everything fit together. And he got historians to and all the rest of it. And he really worked his absolute butt off on that one. And,
it was beautifully written. It was beautifully casted, and it turned out to be a sensational film.
The cinematography for that was incredible too. It was beautiful cinematography.
It was lovely. I loved it.
I mean, obviously, I've got the film companion book that came out because I made sure that I had a copy of that. And it was interesting to see where the miniatures were used. You would never have noticed the miniatures. It's not like sometimes in James Bond films, for example, which cost millions and millions.
And the rest,
$100 million, whatever, to make James Bond film, and you can tell when it's miniature.
That's right.
But with The Legend of Ben Hall, you could never tell. You could not spot the miniatures.
It's incredible. It was
well done.
It was very nicely done. And look, we've got a few other friends that have brought out, and some are going to bring out feature films. I mean, we've got Charlie's Farm that came out. We've got
Charlie's Farm was good.
Christopher Lee's son. Shout out to him, a fellow filmmaker of ours, buddy. He brought out a couple of. I mean, look, Boar is coming out very soon. It just wrapped up at the cinemas. And Charlie's Farm was pretty good. I mean, and look, Christopher Lee's son, he started up from nothing to something. And when you put in the hard work, that's what I say to people. When you put in the hard work, it always pays off.
That's right. That's right. And Christopher Lee's son, really nice bloke too.
Amazing guy, beautiful person, just an incredible human being.
I spoke to him when I was first getting ready to do Iniquitous, we haven't started filming that yet.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a second. I can't wait to hear about that. But I mean, it's always good to network. Like I've networked with Christopher Lee's son, a few others.
Networking is one of the most important tools an actor or director can have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, if you look at my Facebook page, I've got almost 5,000 Facebook pages. Most of them, almost, well, I'd say about 99% of that is industry people.
Industry related,
And I mean, that was why I created Melbourne Actors Meetup Group.
We'll talk about that as well. That's good. I've noticed that. That's caught fire.
I was actually having a look at Facebook memories.
Yeah.
4 years ago, we had our first networking event.
Wow.
4 years ago, and that was with another good director, Luke Lorna.
Yes.
He was our guest speaker.
Yeah, Luke is cool. Luke's a really cool guy. I mean, look, him and his Snap Factory. I mean, he's getting there with it. Sometimes it takes a while, man. Like people
it does take a long time.
That's right. And you got to perfect it. You've got to perfect. You can't just release it, and and because you've got to make it perfect. Once it's perfect, doesn't matter if it takes 6 or 7 years. Once it's out, it'll be the best.
I mean, that's why we haven't started on Iniquitous yet, because I want it to be absolutely perfect. It's my first feature film.
That's right. And what I realized,
I've made short films since I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
But this is my first feature film.
Exactly.
And it has to be perfect.
And the thing is, Brenton, you can spend a decade to work on it. Once it's out, that might be your one and only baby. You might have more, but that's what people are going to judge your work on based on that. So whether you spend 4, 5, 6, 7 years, it doesn't matter as long because look, you get one shot at releasing it. You can't release it and then take it off the shelves, reproduce it, put it back. You got one shot. So if it takes you damn near 6, 7 years, pardon my French, who the fuck cares? Because you want to get it as perfect as possible, and that's that. Yeah.
I mean, I had, I think I got to I won't mention draft numbers because they're, it's
of course.
over. It's going along with a lot of different drafts, a lot of different rewrites, changes, and all the rest of it.
Yeah, it gets daunting, doesn't it?
One of the earlier drafts, I had a housemate, Ruth Richards, and I said to her, look, just have a look, have a read over it, and help me out with some of the dialogue, because dialogue is probably the hardest thing to write.
It can be a C word. It can be
character.
Yeah.
Now Ruth and I, she went away and she said, okay, well, we've got to change this particular scene, and and we had arguments. I said to her, if I change that scene, then it's going to be a complete rewrite.
Exactly.
Which it was, but we had a bet. She said, no, if it's only one scene, she said,
I know.
If it's a complete rewrite, like I say, it's going to be, then because once you change one thing, you got to change.
I know. It's a cluster. It becomes a cluster.
She owes me a coffee. Well, I won. I got 3 cappuccinos. It's. I mean, even Iniquitous, which started off as Deal, originally that was supposed to be about making deals, inadvertently making deals with the devil. And signing his ledger. Well, someone said to me, the devil idea, it's a bit of a throwaway, because it was supposed to be a horror film.
They
said, look, it's a bit of a throwaway. You've got to change that. And I said, okay, cool. So,
and who, if you don't mind me asking, who told you? I mean, not obviously not by name, because by the way, audience, we have a policy here, a no-name policy, just so people know. But just for general purposes, for people to understand, what did this person want you to change? Like, what was their role on set? Like, was it just an actor, or was it someone who was in the production team?
He was actually in the production team.
Gotcha. Okay.
He was going to be a producer.
Because you know why I asked, Brenton? Because a lot of people, and obviously this case it doesn't mean this case, but a lot of people, they can just be actors, or they can just be a freaking extra, and they'll come up to you and say, you know what, Mr. Producer, you should do it this way. It's like, who are you? It's like, I hate it if you're qualified to give an opinion, give an opinion. If you're not qualified, just go sit down.
I'm open to actors making suggestions.
There's no problem with that. That's absolutely no problem with that.
Feasible suggestion.
Exactly.
I've done it myself. I've been on sets of films when I was doing acting.
If it's reasonable, exactly.
One that's still being, still in post-production at the moment. It's called Promise Carved in Flesh.
Okay.
I gave the director absolute. Well, hell, it just caused a lot of.
Let's call it constructive criticism.
Oh look, it was good, but it was a case of, I'd make suggestions.
Yeah. And that's complete. Yeah, that's completely different. Yeah. Because there's giving, like I've gone and I've given suggestions, and some directors have taken it, extremely well. And then others have like pretty much said to me, "Go sit the fuck down," But the thing is, there's a difference between giving a suggestion, and then just telling someone you should do it this way and you should do it that way.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't believe in saying you should do it this way.
Exactly.
I believe in offering suggestions.
Exactly. Spot on.
What if we tried it this way?
Yeah, exactly.
Spot
on.
Like that?
Spot
what
on.
If we did this? What if my character would do that?
Exactly. I could be given any role on the set. I could be the head honcho, and I would still talk to people like we are a team, not like I'm going to tell you how it is. Let's all figure it out. That's how everyone should be. Spot on.
Yeah. So deal ended up becoming iniquitous.
Yeah.
Because by the time we got rid of the devil idea, we made it a sociopath, and it's a female sociopath.
It sounds good. The film sounds good, man. I'm really intrigued by it. It sounds really cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've been following it on Facebook.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. I've been keeping up to date with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we got rid of the making do it with the devil idea, and we made it a sociopath. So it was New Year's Eve a few years back, and I was sitting at Ruth's place, and I said to her, look, we've got to come up with a different title because Bill doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to look for something that meant evil, dark, manipulation, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And so we came up with Iniquitous.
Beautiful. And it's a unique name. It stands out. It's unique. And yeah, man, I reckon that's a good title. I reckon that's better than Deal, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's a great title, and it's going to be a good film. Again, we've got some really good cast in that one, and cast have come and gone because the project got delayed.
Yeah.
We should have filmed it at least a year ago, 2 years ago, but unfortunately, like we said, needed it to be perfect.
Yeah.
And so it got
I mean, look, I'm a really firm believer, Brenton, in it's not a race, all right? It's a marathon. So so you take your time with it, and it'll become exactly what it's meant to be. I believe if someone rushes it, it's going to turn, it's crap. But a lot of people don't get that.
I don't class myself or my films anything near Kubrick. But I mean, look, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick had I think it was a 5-year. Maybe 7-year budget.
Yeah.
He had to get it done within 7 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And he extended. I think it took him about 10 years to get that film made.
Wow. Yeah.
He didn't race it. He didn't rush it.
Yeah.
In 2001: A Space Odyssey, even though the ending still confuses the absolute hell out of it, it is one of the best science fiction films to date.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got science fantasy like Star Wars and all the rest of it. Science fiction. There is a fine line between the two.
Yeah.
It showed what can happen.
Yeah.
In the future, and let's face
That's
it,
right.
a lot of that stuff has come true. I mean, they had space shuttles in that.
Yeah. That's incredible.
The Orion or Orion or whatever it was, space shuttle. Well, we had space shuttles. We had the Columbia. We had Challenger. We had Enterprise.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Shuttles were operational.
Yeah. That's right.
So, this was something from the 1960s.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah. And I mean, it's amazing. Science, science fiction spawned stuff that we use today. Where the mobile phone came from.
Yeah, exactly.
The idea for that came from Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly.
Star
I know.
Trek, with the devices,
those ones they have.
Open and they beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, it's incredible.
That's where Motorola got the idea for mobile phones.
I mean, look, Power Rangers, when, they used to get that ten, 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 when Zordon would, contact them. Now you've got, Apple, iWatches, and you got those those Fitbits.
Those watches actually go.
And the Garmin's. How far back?
Dick Tracy.
Wow. Yeah, no kidding.
Dick Tracy in the comic books.
That's right.
Dick Tracy, about 1940s or something like that.
Wow. Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
He had a watch that he would talk into. That was his radio wristwatch. Well, that's where those things have come from. That's where that's come from. The Apple watches. I've never used one. I haven't. I don't even think I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
But I was talking to someone recently, and they said, I'm looking a bit silly at the moment because I'm talking into my wrist. You got one of those things? And they said, yeah. I said, okay. So that's where they got the idea for the wristwatch.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything comes from, like early on. Like they do a good job of predicting. I mean, hell, the Simpsons predicted Trump as president, and look what happened.
Yeah, well, we won't go there.
Yeah. I mean, before we started the podcast, because it is live as well, we said we're going to try and avoid controversial topics. So I think we've done a good job so far. Let's keep it up.
We've done well. We've done well. We did bring up Trump. Look, he's got a good business mind, and that's about it.
And I've got to be careful how I say this, of course, but we're not going to shy away from anything. Look, I'll just say on Trump, I agree with a number of things, but I also disagree with a lot of others. So people can make what they want from that.
Yeah. But look, everyone says the same thing about every president that they've ever had,
Yeah.
And in hindsight, people are looking back and going, Obama was dreadful. I don't think he was, but that was my personal opinion.
Yeah.
People look back and, Nixon should have been gotten rid of before he was president.
Yeah, and what I realized, Brenton, is there's always going to be people for and there's going to be people against. That's just how it is. Yeah, and exactly. Is there a right? Is there a
with Liberal and Labor?
Exactly.
There's always going to be people for and people against.
Exactly. I mean, is there a right and a wrong? Who can really say? I mean, we can have our opinions on it, our beliefs. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, That's why we're not in politics and they are.
Exactly.
leave it to the people that are in politics.
Yeah.
So this feature film of yours. So by the end of the year, you reckon it could possibly be out?
No, the end of the year we'll be filming it.
Okay. Gotcha.
You got to keep in mind it's going to take a long time for post-production as well.
Yeah, that's right.
There've been a few reasons that we've had to delay filming.
Yeah.
I won't go into those reasons. But,
I remember. That's why I assume at the end of the year because but you've had to delay it. That's right. It happens, man. It happens. These things happen.
I'm going to be over in Melbourne to film that because when I wrote the screenplay, it was Melbourne I had in mind. Yeah. Because I was familiar with Melbourne. I lived in Melbourne for 29 years.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, everything was to do with Melbourne, even though it's not set in Melbourne.
Yeah.
At no stage do we ever mention where it's set. We don't name the city. We don't name anything. The closest we get is we mention a couple of streets. Nicholson Street, Smith Street, or something. I can't remember now. Street, but it comes over the police broadband, the police radio, and they directed our suspicious car located Nicholson Street. And they described the car. And they're given the instructions.
Interesting, man. Yeah.
The driver and report back.
Yeah.
And that's the closest it gets to giving a name of any location.
Yeah,
and, they could be streets anywhere in the world.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good it's good to let them wonder. It's like they don't need to know. It's like it's brilliant. Yeah.
But we're filming that. We're actually filming some of the scenes at my father's house in Willers Hill.
Because, beautiful.
Again, when I was writing it, I actually had my father's house.
Yeah.
As in mind when I was writing it.
Yeah.
Another house, I had a house that I was renting at the time. I had that in mind when I was writing it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not renting there anymore. I'm now in Perth.
Yeah.
But it could be any house.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
But we're filming some of the scenes in Willers Hill.
Beautiful. Yep.
The girls at Mount Dandenong.
Yep. Nice areas. Mount Dandenong's beautiful for filming, mate. The scenery is just incredible.
In fact, we've also got a scene up in Sassafras.
Okay. Yep.
Sassafras and Olinda. There's a scene where
is that Olinda Falls?
Yeah,
beautiful.
It's beautiful. I used to love driving up there. It's like, if I just wanted to go and relax somewhere and just go for a drive somewhere, I'd always head up to Mount Dandenong. Yeah,
I'll tell you, man, the Dandenong Mountains. Look, I mean, I've been to Greece. I've been to Canada. I've seen the Rockies, mate. I've seen a lot, and I must admit, Dandenong Mountains is right up there with all of those, because it's just it's blissful going up there, man. It really is.
Exactly. So we've got only one scene, unfortunately, but it's on a footbridge up in Mount Dandenong.
Nice.
Character is sitting there. He's leaning against the bridge, and he's there's a girl and a mother playing near a creek, and he's watching the mother and the daughter playing, and the camera sort of revolves around him, and then it's looking up at him, and he's basically he's playing through his mind, and it's done in voiceover. A conversation between him and the doctor, where he's told that cancer that he's suffering is spread.
Wow.
And, so it's a very emotional scene. And Dave Barden plays that character, and he again another great actor. And he we actually filmed the teaser trailer on that location.
That sounds amazing.
And we gave him time to get the feel, and just the emotions without saying a single word. The emotion that he was drawing was really good.
Wow, the view would have been amazing too.
He's a great actor.
It's always good when you get great cast members, man. You can't go wrong. You honestly can't.
Well, that's right. So, but primarily the film will be filmed in Dalesford. Which is out. It's a couple of hours drive outside Melbourne. But it's a little country town, and the townsfolk there are really supportive, and they're like, when we first went scouting, they were all like, yes, you can use our business. Yes, you can use this room. Yes, you can use our house. Yes, you can do this. Yes,
amazing.
You can do that.
Wow. Incredible. Incredible.
Even the mayor of the town, or whatever she was, I can't even remember what her role was, but we went out there. Ria Tyron and myself went out there to have a look at location. And first thing that we did when I got to Dalesford, because Ria lived in Dalesford. First thing that we did was go and meet with this lady from the council. And I said to the lady, I said, look, how much are we going to need to pay for permits? She said, absolutely nothing.
Oh wow!
We're giving you the permits. We are giving you the permits to film here.
That's incredible.
Like, wow.
That is because you've already saved a bunch of money on that as well. Wow, that's incredible.
You know what I was told a permit in Melbourne cost?
How much?
About $1,000 a day.
Jeez, I knew it was.
That's what I was told.
Wow.
That is.
No, it sounds about right. I always thought it would have been like at least 500-600 a day. But yeah, depending on where you want to shoot as well, because I don't think it's a.
If you're filming in a private house, you don't need a permit because it's a house or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're filming in the street, and a lot of the stuff happens in the streets in particular, then you've got to have permits.
I tell you what, man, it's pricey. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, it's one thing to rip out a camera and do a vlog and then, or do a little segment and put it up on YouTube. And it's another, and good for them too. They can get 1 million hits. It's another thing to go out there, write a script, get the permits, get the cop cars from the media department of the police station, pay them, pay everyone else, and get the ball rolling. That's before you even get the ball rolling. When you get the ball rolling, then you got more expenses. People just don't understand how tough it can really be. So that's just an example of why it can take as long as it takes for a film to be released.
Exactly. I mean, yes, you can write the screenplay, and a lot of people, I've seen people say that they had a working screenplay within the first couple of drafts. I've seen someone say that they'd written one draft and said they were ready to film. I mean, look, maybe they had a really good draft, but
maybe they feel lucky. Maybe they're a gambling person.
Most filmmakers know that it's going to take a lot of drafts.
That's right. Exactly.
Because the first draft that you write is basically the skeleton.
Yeah.
I look at it like biology. It's the skeleton.
Pretty much.
Then you when you do your second draft, you're actually layering on all the fat.
Yep.
And then or fleshing it out.
Yep.
Then the third draft is actually trimming the fat, and there's a lot of you've got to really trim. Once you've got all your characters developed and everything, then you've got to sit there and trim it.
That's right.
Go, okay,
that's right.
It's really important for this particular scene. Can we get rid of this scene?
Exactly. And you've also got time constraints. You got that as well. I mean, if you want a film, if you've got a license to produce a film for 120 minutes, some get 90 minutes. You've got to fit that time frame. You can't go over. So you've got to sit there and trim. That's exactly what you got to do. You got to trim the fat.
Well, I know that with The Legend of Ben Hall, for example, I mean, I think that was a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, that was long.
And that was the final cut, the 2.5 hour movie, something like that.
Yeah.
It was on TV recently, and I know that it ran for about 3 hours or something on TV.
Yeah.
But I know that there were a lot of bits that a lot of scenes, a lot of pieces of footage.
Yeah.
And scenes got shortened in the editing department.
Yeah.
Scenes got cut.
And it's always a shame. It's hard to do that because every scene can be brilliant, and it really hurts when you have to cut a scene out, where it has to, be taken out, and it sucks. But I mean, at the end of the day, it has to be done. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. And it's the same with anything. I mean, same with people who write books.
Yeah.
Those things that we were talking about before.
Yeah.
For those who use Kindles, there used to be books.
Yeah.
Those who write stage plays.
Yeah.
You want a stage play that's going to go for about 2 hours.
Exactly.
If it goes for more than 2 hours, the audience gets restless.
Exactly.
Yes, you have 1 or 2 intermissions.
Yeah.
The Breakfast Club that I'm doing, we've got 2 intermissions.
Okay.
One of the because it's an adaptation of the screenplay.
Yes.
The screenplay has 3 acts, so the stage show has 3 acts.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
And I mean the first act is only 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
But the the first intermission actually comes as a bit of a joke because we've got the scene where the teacher comes out or the assistant principal comes out and says to everyone, right, who needs to, everyone's fallen asleep at their desk. And he says, right, who needs to go to the bathroom? And all their hands go up. All of a sudden, the stage lights go down, house lights come up. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have a 10-minute intermission.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's to add a bit of humour in it, but it's also so that we can go into the next.
That's it. Hey, it works. It works. Why not?
Yeah, but there's a few adjustments we need to do for the next set. Or for the next scene, and that's why we've put an intermission in there.
Yeah.
But that would have been exactly where the first act ended in the original screenplay.
Wow. Yeah.
And I mean, look, the legal department that handles John Hughes's estate, they charged me a lot of money to option this, but they said, look, you'll be the only Australian. That's
awesome. Man, it's it. Yep.
Of this, and you can do it. But we want to, they said there's no existing stage adaptation script. You've got the rights to adapt it.
It's a good investment. It's a really good investment.
Send us a copy of the script. They said.
That's
so we've done that. We've done all that. And look, there's a few Easter eggs, if you will, in our stage adaptation as well.
Nice.
And I won't go into it, but the audience are going to have a few really good laughs that weren't in the screenplay.
That's very nice. So
the Breakfast Club wasn't that funny. It was more of a drama.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It had funny bits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was billed as a teen comedy, but it wasn't a comedy.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right.
So we've added a little bit of humour to it. I have trimmed some of the scenes. There was scenes in the screenplay which I figured were not that necessary. It would have meant a whole new set and all the rest of it. So I said, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
It wasn't important to show the teacher in going through all the files. Which really all that did was just endorse the fact that the teacher was a bit of an a-hole.
That's right.
We know that anyway. He's the antagonist.
Wow. So with Iniquitous, when it's all said and done, Brenton, are you thinking in terms of distribution? Are you thinking, because now, look, we're in a lovely time because now we've got Netflix, we got Stan, Netflix being the end all be all, in my opinion, of digital film and TV.
It will definitely be on Ozflix.
Okay.
I had a meeting with I can't think of his first name. Brown is his second name. Is his third name. So I had a meeting with him a couple of years ago when I was still in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Nice guy. Anyway, he runs Ozflix.
Heard of it.
But it's only Australian.
That's content. That's right.
And so I had a meeting with him, and he said, look, I'm happy to put it on.
That's wicked.
Ozflix.
That's wicked.
He said,
and already that's guaranteed. The movie hasn't even been made, and it's guaranteed. That's woof.
I know.
That's incredible.
We did have a cinema distribution deal, but again, I won't go into what happened there.
But it gets tricky. I mean, it gets really tricky when it comes to that. And sometimes it doesn't have to be out of malice. It just sometimes they just fall through. It's such a tough, competitive market when it comes to theatre. It's tough.
I'm going to approach all the independent cinemas, and there's actually more independent cinemas in Australia than there are mainstream.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Your New Village cinemas, there's less of them than there are independent cinemas.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Independent cinemas are going to be more likely to be able to screen this.
Yeah.
Because Hoyton Village and Greater Union and Reading and all the rest of it, they're more interested in your Hollywood blockbusters.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, look, our friend, friend Chris, Christopher Lee's son. Boar was pretty damn good. I mean, I've seen a few scenes because I've got friends that are in it, and like I've got a bit of a look, a bit of an inside look. And the trailer's beautiful. You can tell the movie's going to be great. It's already been sold, And the thing is, they've got a limited release. I mean, Hoyt's Village, limited release. So just imagine if a film like Boar, which is pretty outstanding, it beats Charlie's Farm. People just get better and better with every film. Some people don't, but some do. Chris is a legend. If Boar can get a limited release, what chance do others have? That's just the game. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Look, it is a game, and it is, it is a gamble.
Yeah.
And that's where investors have to think about it. Okay, it's a gamble. How are we going to make our money back? I don't know.
Yeah.
The beauty, I mean, you've got other films, though, that first-time director, first-time screenwriter did Babadook.
Yeah.
The Babadook was a low-budget film.
Yeah.
I researched that when it first came out, and that had a cinema release.
Yeah.
I researched that, and the producer told me it cost a lot more, but the research I did was it cost him $35,000 a month.
Okay.
I called up the producer and I said, "Look, how did you make it?" I said, "Oh, no, it cost us $4 million." Well, I can't see where $4 million was.
So, I think
look, it was a good film. No offense to the director and so forth. It was a good film. I enjoyed it. But
wow, that's wow. Like, that's an example of people. I mean, that's the epitome of milking. I mean, I can understand someone might say it cost me this much because they want to get a return of that much and they want to sign the best deal. But just be honest. I mean, people can tell. Look, most people, maybe not everyone, but most people can tell if something's shot on a $4 million budget or a $35,000 budget. It's not hard.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I mean, iniquitous isn't going to cost us a lot. Everyone's working for percentage of profits.
Yeah,
They all know that. And they all know that that way they are actually going to get paid.
Yeah.
Once the film makes a profit, they're all going to get paid.
Exactly. And look, that's what shits me when people are like, "Where's my money? Where's my money?" Look, put it this way: if Nicolas Cage and Mel Gibson can work pro bono, like they do the film and then they get paid, if they can do it, I think someone who rocks up to your set can do the same thing. Put it that way.
To be honest, I think percentage of profit is not a bad idea.
It can be good. It can.
You look at Australian cinema history. Mad Max, 1970. What was that? 1978, 79.
Yep.
Like that, right? Because I think Mad Max 2 came out about 1982.
Yeah.
The first Mad Max film. Now, Kennedy and Miller, George Miller and Byron Kennedy or something like that?
Yes,
anyway,
I think.
They said to their cast and crew, they offered them two options.
Yeah.
Percentage of profits or a small a small rate.
Yeah.
And they said, "Look, we don't know if we're ever going to do any good with this, so we'll just take the small rate."
Big mistake.
It was a huge mistake.
Yep, catastrophic mistake.
They didn't know that there were going to be 3 sequels.
Yeah.
They didn't know that about.
Yeah.
Because that was pre videotape.
Yeah, and you know what shits me? You know what shits me the most, Brenton? Because I've heard this case happen a number of times, and they'll settle for getting a wage, they'll settle for getting a rate, and then because they don't think it's going to really amount to that much. I mean, they know it's going to be something, but they don't know, to what extent. When it becomes like very, very huge, and people are making astronomical amounts of money, They've already signed. They've already signed to a fixed deal. They've signed to get what they got. But then this is what shits me. They sue the production company. Oh, this is how much you went and made, and I was a big part of it. It's like, pardon my French again, motherfucker, you signed already. See you later. But that's not good enough.
Yeah.
They've got to sue you. It's very funny how a lot of people are. It's like, just be smart. I mean, look, my opinion, it's better to get paid at the end. That's how it is. Yeah. It benefits the people doing the film, like money-wise, and it benefits everyone at the end of the day. That's how I see it.
That's right. I mean, Victor Miller, who wrote the screenplay for the original Friday the 13th, came out in 1980.
Yeah.
He's suing at the moment. Stupid, because he would have signed some sort of contract,
Yeah.
But I mean, it's surprising though what some people will settle for too, because the film crew for Mad Max, and again, look, this is going back on second-hand knowledge, or it could have been a trivia question that I'd read somewhere or something like that. The film crew from Mad Max, their payment was a slab of beer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, some people.
They said, "Oh yeah, we'll have a slab of beer."
Some people love their beer, Brenton.
And it was probably something stupid. It was something horrible, like 4X or VB or should I name it? Foster's Lager. Foster's Lager, of course, which is the beer that we export to everyone because no one bloody drinks it here. I think it's hilarious. So when you see in films and they're drinking a Foster's Lager, and you look at it and go, we don't drink that stuff anymore. It's all,
that's awesome.
Lager or whatever. I don't know. I don't drink beer. I don't drink. So.
Yeah, I don't drink either. Don't drink. Don't smoke. Yeah.
But I mean, you can make some astronomical mistakes with your career.
You can.
And you have to learn from those.
Yeah, and look, sometimes it happens to the best of us as well.
Well, those people who worked on the original Mad Max, and I'm friends with people like Steve Bisley and so forth.
Yeah.
And they got paid a small amount, and they're probably kicking themselves.
Yeah, that will be an understatement.
They learned from it. They would have gone, you know what, our next film we're going to definitely be asking for more.
Yeah. But also, one thing I also I'm on the side of is having a just good morals. Like, if you know a film's made a catastrophic amount of money, a ridiculous amount of money, and people signed what they signed, I mean, give them cut them a check. Cut them a fucking check. That's what I would do. That's what I would do.
Because someone says, "Look, I'll do it for $1,000 for however many days." If your movie has made so much,
so I can see that side as well.
Go, okay, well, I'm sitting on this much, piles of cash this way. I'm never going to spend it all because I'm 48, whatever. You just say, look,
that's right.
Here's a bit extra,
Yeah. So I can see both sides, but I think you can tell when a case is out of hate and malice, and you can tell when it's out of legitimate, like someone got fucked over, So I can understand where they're coming from, certain people, But
yeah. Well, I mean, I did Neighbours between 87 and 90.
Yes.
91,
Yep. Yeah, you did.
It was a recurring role. It was uncredited. It was a recurring role. Every now and then. But I think I only ever got one royalty check. And I think that was for about $4 or some stupid amount. But I'm like, well,
crazy.
I mean, that show sells to the UK and. Where they absolutely lap it up in this, and they're still talking about Harold Bishop and all the rest of it.
I mean, look, my opinion on Home and Away and Neighbours, and I'm not even exaggerating this. My podcast doesn't get more views than Home and Away and Neighbours, but I've got a lot of friends who have their podcasts, and they plug mine as well. They promote mine, and their channels online, Twitch, YouTube, SoundCloud, Podcast One, they get probably 10 times more the viewers that Neighbours and Home and Away does. A lot of people now can trump, no pun intended, Trump. they can trump Neighbours and Home and Away. Look, Neighbours and Home and Away used to be good once upon a time, in my opinion. I think, as a whole, and this is going to be a big statement to say, and you can let me know your thoughts. In my opinion, maybe this is a little bit of an exaggeration, but not too far off. And I say this, just to get a reaction from people, but I honestly believe it to an extent. The film and television industry in Australia is dead. It's dead. It never used to. Look, back when Blue Heelers was on, back then when they did Home and Away and Neighbours in the 2000s, in the 99s and the 98s.
You're talking a period before the writers' strike.
Yes, and before digital media.
The writers' strike caused a lot of problems.
That's right. And digital, look at now,
You had your shows like Blue Heelers. I mean, Blue Heelers was a fantastic.
It was awesome. Fantastic. Fabulous.
I didn't like what they did with the final season of Blue Heelers because the first, how many seasons did that go for?
I think 11.
10 years?
I think 11. By memory, 11. 10 or 11.
11?
I think so.
For the first 10 years, every episode was a new story.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, I went to a screenwriters meetup group, and that's where I got the idea for doing the Actors Meetup Group, Melbourne Actors Meetup Group. And we've got a Sydney one, we've got a Perth one as well. Beautiful. But I went along to the screenwriters meetup group, and they had the guest speaker there was the screenwriter from Blue Heelers.
Oh wow, awesome!
And I said to him, I said to him, look, were you involved in writing all the scripts for Blue Heelers? Did you write the, He said, I wrote, he wrote, or I don't know if he wrote every script or if he was involved in every script or something. But, I said to him, well, the final season, why did you change the formula? Yeah. And they did. They changed the formula.
They did. They came up with pretty boring. I mean, look, I think Tom Croydon, I can't believe I can still remember this, but it was phenomenal. How can you forget it? Tom Croydon was battling cancer, which, it's an emotional thing. It makes, the audience, tune into it.
But Blue Heelers was full of drama between the characters and everything. They actually had characters. And that was good. Yeah. But the final season, instead of single story arcs, they had one continuous story arc the whole season.
Like Tom got sick, and a few other stuff was happening. I think Amy was, dealing with her inner demons. I think she was, sexually assaulted when she was younger. But it went from chasing criminals and chasing dilemmas to, sort of dealing with their own issues at a cop shop. And it became dull. It became dull. Don't get me wrong, in other shows, chasing down a sexual predator can be interesting. In another show, someone dealing with cancer and the adversity from it can be good. But Blue Heelers for 10 seasons was one thing. Once you go and you change it, it's not going to go too well. That's what I think.
They jumped the shark with it. They jumped the shark.
Yeah.
Look, it was still a good show, but they changed the formula, and the final season was almost like a soap opera.
Yeah, and I think one cop.
It was no longer individual story arcs. Yeah, you could just pick up an episode halfway. You couldn't miss an episode because you wouldn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Whereas the first 10 years, the first 10 seasons, you could. If you missed an episode, it didn't really matter. You came along, you watched it the following week, and enjoyed the story.
And I think there was also a cop that committed suicide, and it was pointless. Like, I think he wanted one of the coppers, the blondie, and apparently she didn't want him, and he just committed suicide. It was just very bizarre towards the end. They even moved. I mean, it got so bizarre. They moved from prime time, 10 years on Channel 7 at Wednesday, 8:30, prime time. You can't get a better slot than that. Like in my opinion, the best times to get a slot on primetime television is either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Those are the best. Like Rove McManus, he was on a Tuesday night. Blue Heelers, Wednesday night. But they moved to Saturdays at 6:30. I'm like, what the fuck, So it was obvious the writing was on the wall. But I mean, look, 10 solid years. Look, and that's the thing. A lot of seasons go for 5, 6 seasons, and they hit it out of the park. Once you have to keep developing storylines for a long period of time, it gets tiresome. I mean, how much can you do? At the end of the day, you're beating a dead horse. So there's only so much you can come up with. And I think 10 seasons, 10 good seasons is absolutely remarkable.
Yeah. Exactly. And it was a hugely popular show.
Yeah.
It was probably one of Australia's best drama shows ever. I mean, I was talking to someone not too long ago. Actually, Amanda Asquith, who's co-producer for Iniquitous.
Oh, okay.
I was talking to her. I reckon it's probably been 2 years ago. Actually, I was talking to her about it. The TV shows. Yeah. When we were growing up, I don't know, how old are you?
I'm 33 in August the 6th.
Okay, so you're 15 years younger than me, so you wouldn't remember this show.
Yeah.
Number 96.
Mm-hmm.
Number 96 was a breakthrough TV show for
okay.
I think it might have been Channel 9 or something.
Yeah.
It was a 9. I'd say it was probably a 9 o'clock or 9:30 p.m. time slot.
Yep.
Because it broke all boundaries for TV.
Yeah.
It had full frontal nudity. It had
Full Frontal. I remember Full Frontal was a classic. Back when comedy wasn't really comedy. Back when stand-up wasn't really stand-up.
Show. Yeah. But number 96, though, right? Number 96 had homosexuality. It had everything. It was a really good drama show.
Yeah.
And that ran for years.
Wow.
I remember I was a little boy, probably about 5 years old.
Yeah.
So we're talking 1975.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I remember it as black and white because we still had a black and white TV. Because colour didn't come in until 75.
Yeah. And even when it did, I would imagine like if you didn't upgrade, it's like now. I mean, now we've got 4K, but if you don't upgrade to 4K, you've got your standard, HD, your 1080p's, your 720s. So I'm assuming even when I'm digressing now, but even when color would have come out, it would have been the high-end TVs. Like every normal average Joe would have still had a black and white. So it's amazing. It's like because a lot of people, they discuss this. It's good that you brought this up because a lot of people say, "Oh, when did color come in?" Fair enough, color could have came in at a certain year, but doesn't mean every household had color. That's the interesting part. That's very fascinating.
Well, when TV first came out when was that? 1950s. Not everyone had TV.
Yeah, they had all that. Yeah.
About when TV first came out. When my grandparents first got a TV, apparently, because prior to that it was the wireless.
Yeah, wow.
And 1950s or whatever, when my father first had TV, everyone from the neighbourhood would come and sit in the lounge room and watch TV. My
mum and my dad, they used to have a radio growing up, and they used to have friends come over, do the same thing, and crowd around a radio device and listen to the radio. This is before TV, before anything like that. It's just look. I think now. I mean, this might sound a bit cliche, but we take things for granted a little bit too much today. Look, back in 99 and back in 98, I was a teenager and I didn't take things for granted. Now everyone has sort of taken things for granted. Even I do with tapping on my smartphone, 30 times a day. It's just, it's a different time. It really is. Sometimes it can be good, but sometimes it can be really bad. I mean, when you've got kids at the age of 5 on a tablet, that, it's like, what on earth, it's now back in the day, they used to read books. Back in the day, they would, play on a like a, scramble. They'd play Connect the Fours. They'd play a board game. Now the board game has turned into downloading apps off their parents' handset, costing them money. That's what people are worried about now, how to prevent kids from downloading apps to charge the parents. And it's I think we've gone in a way that we probably shouldn't have. I think we should have stayed grounded. But, things evolve and times evolve and people change, and that's just how the universe works. That's people for you,
Yeah. But I remember because the internet came out, 95? Well, you had Windows 95 when the internet actually come out.
I think the internet probably around about then, that, because before that it was DOS mode, and that was pretty much offline. I think Windows 95 was the beginning of dial-up, which today is laughable to no end. And back then, it used to be good. I remember the floppy disks. It used to fit a couple of meg on a floppy disk. Now a couple of meg is nothing. You switch on your screen just to tap on an app, and you've already downloaded 2 meg. It's insane.
Look, I didn't get the internet until about 99, 2000.
Yeah. That's a reasonable time. Yep, same. A bit after that for me.
Yeah. So my kids grew up with, in their early years they didn't have the internet, and computer to me was just for writing.
Like with anyone really.
And maybe playing solitaire.
Solitaire. Oh boy. Oh man, I even remember that. Holy moly.
Yeah. But prior to that, we used to go outside and ride bikes.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
We used to go outside and climb trees.
That's right. That's exactly right.
We'd get up in the morning, we'd have our breakfast, get dressed, and we'd be out like a shot on our BMX bikes and our, and go off, catch up with our mates. We'd go and stand out the front of their yard, and we'd call out, "Come on!"
Like, look, my fondest memories, and I'll give a shout out to Bill and Michael Pandalidis, the brothers, really cool blokes. Grew up with them. I remember we lived close by, just down the road, and I remember going there and getting our bikes, going to bike shops, putting pegs on our bikes and dinking our other friends on our bikes and dinking them along. And we used to go and just chill at a tree house and just have fun and just have a laugh and just kick it, enjoy the view. Those were the days, my goodness gracious. And now, you know what makes, a teenager's day? Downloading an app and having a gift card that someone bought them to tap a code in to get $30 worth of credit on to download apps. And I'm thinking, where did we go wrong? Honestly,
It's the electrical age,
Well, that's the thing,
there was an old saying for video recorders and DVD players.
Yeah.
They were called the electronic babysitters. You'd stick it on and the kids would sit there and you wouldn't hit boot.
Yeah.
But I used to try and encourage my kids when they were really little to go and play in the backyard.
Yeah.
We got jungle gyms and things like that.
That's right. That's right. It's just, it's so much more fun. It's so much more active. It's just.
But we were talking before about about how TV has changed.
Yes, it has.
The writers' strike. And I don't know if that was worldwide, but it was definitely America.
Definitely America. Look, I don't know. Maybe Australia was affected because normally anything America does, Australia follows suit in some form or fashion in terms of contacts and the way they do things.
The writers' strike was the reason Big Brother was invented.
Right?
Big Brother TV show came out because they didn't need a script.
Yeah.
The TV station said, "What are we going to do now?" They could have, during the writers' strike, just rerun some of the older shows. In Melbourne Tonight, for example, with Graham Kennedy, or they could have rerun, I mean, they still show MASH and
yeah. I mean, it's
like
amazing.
that,
I mean, you could do reruns of The Simpsons, and obviously, I mean, it's not acting per se, but it's people that have developed the show, cartoons, and they'll still get more of a rating than anything new that you produce, and that speaks volumes. And it's not just cartoons. We can bring up stuff like Get Smart, which is actors from the '60s and and '70s.
Get Smart.
Yeah, I mean, I would watch Get Smart over anything that's been produced in 2018.
Yeah.
If something was on in 2018, I would click away and go to I'd go to a channel where it's got classics, and I'd watch Get Smart, and that speaks volumes. Yeah. When that happens, it speaks volumes.
Yeah. Well, years ago, I used to run a video store.
Yeah.
And somehow, I think it was because there was another video store that was closing down. I ended up buying a whole heap of DVDs from.
Yeah.
And I got Gidget, Sally Field as a teenager, right?
Wow, okay.
And I don't know how many seasons of Gidget were ever made. Yeah. But we're talking something from, 1950s, 1960s.
Shit.
Now, my daughter, who is now 23, almost 24, she'll be 24 in August.
Okay, yeah. Right? August, same as me. What date?
Sorry?
What date? What date in August?
17th.
Oh, I'm the 6th. I was going to say, if it was the same date, I was like, whoa.
Well, my daughter was in the video shop with me, and I said to her, she wanted to watch something, and I said, well, look, it's daytime, you can't put anything on that's too full on.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I introduced her to Gidget.
Yeah.
She sat there and she watched Gidget from start to finish, the entire DVD collection, every episode of Gidget, and she loved it. Yeah. This is a girl who, she probably related a lot to Gidget.
Yeah.
But she grew up, she was probably 16 at the time.
Yeah.
So she had grown up in the electronic age.
Yeah.
Grown up with things like violent films, action films.
Yeah, all the stuff, the saws and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and she sat there and watched every episode of Gidget.
Wow. That's incredible.
Interesting fact too. I said to her, I put on a Doris Day film for her one day. It was either The Glass Bottom Boat or Please Don't Eat the Daisies. And Doris Day, who, believe it or not, is still around.
Yeah, wow.
She's well into her 90s. She's pushing. She's close to 100.
Yeah.
And she released her first CD for Mother's Day in the UK in about 2012, I think it was.
Wow.
Anyway, I put this movie on for my daughter, for Megan, and she sat there and she watched it. And afterwards she said to me, Dad, is Doris Day still around? I said, no idea, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I did it with Google.
Yeah.
I went on Google.
Yeah.
Because no one has heard of Doris Day for years.
Yeah. And Google's your best friend. It really is. Google, you can find anything on there.
Yeah. But I had a look and, yes, Doris Day was still, she's still active. She was heavily involved in the Doris Day Animal Foundation.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I actually wrote to Doris Day through the Doris Day Animal Foundation.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, what a lot of people don't know about me, I'm not just a filmmaker, an actor, director, or stage director.
Yeah.
I'm also a magician.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I've been a magician for coming up 26 years now.
Holy mackerel.
Anyway, I was also a clown. So my magician name was the Black Phantasm, which is where I took my production name from. It's Phantasm Production.
Wow.
Got with an F.
Yeah.
And my clown name was Bento the Magic Clown.
Awesome. That's good. Awesome.
And that was big. And that name came because my brother Matthew, when he was little, he could never pronounce my name, and so it was it was always bento, bento, bento. Anyway, when I first became a clown, I said to my wife at the time, I've been divorced for many years, but I said to her, look, we've got to come up with a clown name, and we're throwing ideas around, and then we both looked at each other and at the same time said bento.
Awesome.
So that stuck. Anyway, Doris Day did a film called Billy Rose's Jumbo, and it was a real fun film. It was set in a circus. It was it was a comedy. It was a musical. It was everything. Good family viewing. And so when I wrote to Doris Day, I said to her, look, because she was an inspiration for me to become a clown. Yeah. And I said to her, look, this is the situation. I said, look, my daughter's just watched one of your films. And, we absolutely loved it. I said, I've been a fan for years. I said, I watched Billy Rose's Jumbo when I was younger, and that encouraged me to become a clown. Yeah. And, didn't hear anything from her for a while. Anyway, next thing I know, and it arrived on my birthday in 2012. Okay. And there was this, the postie delivered a manila envelope, said, do not bend on the front. I thought, oh, what's this? Was I expecting something? I wasn't expecting anything. I thought, okay, someone sent me a birthday card, flipped it over on the back, Doris Day. Oh, wow. I opened it up, and there was an autographed photo from her. Two friends, love Doris Day, kiss, kiss, kiss. And it was a photo from Billy Rose's Jumbo. It was her headshot from Billy Rose's Jumbo. Oh, wow. And, that was an incredible... Yeah, that's insane. And then she and I used to actually exchange emails on a regular basis after that. I emailed her and I thanked her so much. But it's emailing back and forth. It's amazing. It's amazing when you can get people that are from the industry that just they treat people just like how they would treat anyone, even that's in the industry with them. They don't act up themselves. They'll chat to anyone, and that's awesome. I think that's the difference between the celebrities of the golden era. We'll call it the golden era. Right? And the celebrities now. I think if you asked one of the A-listers, if you contacted one of the A-listers, such as, I could be wrong because I've never tried contacting him, but let's say Russell Crowe. Yep. Right? I don't think that he'd be so forthcoming. I don't think so. Great actor. Love Russell Crowe, and I would love to actually, I talked about this a while ago because I wanted there's a film I want to do, which has been done before, but it was it's a big film. The last version of it actually had Pierce Brosnan in it, which was. Look, I love Pierce, but his version of it was dreadful. I'm not going to mention the name of it because I really want to do this film. But when I was toying with the idea of doing it, I immediately thought of having Rusty in it. And a friend of housemate I had in Melbourne is good friends with Russell. And, wow. He said, look, when you're ready to do it, let me know. And I'll tee up a meeting with you and Russell. Wow. Oh, look, incredible. It may not ever happen. I know Russell. Yeah, you never know. You never. We'll speak about this in the next 10, 20 minutes. But I went to America, and I've got a lot of stories from America, the contacts I made, and I'll be going there, several times a year. I just got back now from America. I'm back in Melbourne now, going back in August, and then going back after the wrestling because I just booked my ticket for the Super Show in MCG. So after October the 6th, I'll be going back again. So back and forth. Cool. It's tiring. It's a long journey. It's like I was telling you before we got on air.
it's a long journey. It's a long flight.
Make sure you take a book.
Yeah, well, exactly. You know, exactly. You know, it's just.
But, yeah, you know, I mean, you've got to. I mean, look, I'm friends with a lot of American celebrities,
yeah,
and Australian celebrities.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. But I've made a few contacts. I mean, in Australia, in Australia, I've got, you know, people that are on, you know, Neighbours and Home and Away, and I've got like, I've got people that are on other shows. In America, I've just started making a few contacts under my belt of, you know, people that are like, you know, doing like small appearances on Gotham, and people that just wrapped up, you know, on 24, and other people that, you know, were in the, you know, the latest Prison Break series. And it's good. It's good to rub shoulders with them because, you know, because look, I've never wanted to be handed anything in my life, and I'm certainly not a fucking kiss ass. But there's a difference between networking and being a kiss ass and trying to get stuff handed to you. I like networking because I love picking people's brains. I love, you know, you have to be a sponge in this industry, and that's what I do. And I go straight to the source, and I'm just an opportunist. But that being said, I mean, if there's an audition for a role, I'm definitely going to wait in line like everyone else. I mean, who the fuck, you know, do people think I am? You know what I mean? But you know, there's a misconception with people out there. You know.
I know that Kathy Bates said a little while ago that she's thankful she doesn't have to audition anymore, because people, when you get to that status, you don't have to audition. You just go. You know, people say, okay, I want that particular person, and they contact the agent. The agent lets in, you know, does all the dealing and all the rest of it. But you know, I mean, it's still important to be
in terms of agents, Brenton. Who would you recommend in Australia? For like, I mean, I've got my one. And I'll put it towards you, and you can let me know if you think they're really super great. Because there's quite a few out there, you know. But in terms of agencies,
I mean, I've only ever dealt with a few agents myself.
Yeah. So which are the ones that you know? I mean, you can mention them if you like. You know, get a little positive plug-in happening.
Well, I always. Whenever anyone asks me about an agent, I always refer them to Beyond Actors.
Okay.
That was my last agent. I mean, as you know, I don't do acting anymore. I direct.
So exactly.
I don't actually have an
completely
agent
different.
anymore.
That's right.
But,
that's right.
I always refer them to Beyond Actors. So I know that there's some really good agents out there.
Like even as a director and a producer, you're going to scout some of these agencies to get talent. So in a way, like, everyone's got to be in the know of which are the good agents and which ones, you know, are the ones that, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to use the word, I got to be careful how I say this. And this obviously doesn't mean for the agencies we're talking about. This is just in general, the ones that advertise. Look, put it this way. I'll put it in a way, because I got to be careful because this is live. Look, put it this way. If you have to look in the Age or the Herald Sun, and you look in the career section and there's an agency advertising for people to join, you probably want to avoid those. Probably want to avoid them, because in my opinion, and this is my opinion, any legitimate agency. I mean, look, I don't want to make that call, because there might be some legit agencies that promote in the paper. But 9 times out of 10, let's say 9 times out of 10, which is a safe call to make, anyone that advertises for people, you probably want to avoid. The legit agencies, in my opinion, are the ones where they don't need to advertise. You just know them. You know them. You've heard of them. You know who they are, and you apply for them. I think a lot of the ones in the newspapers are for modelling work, which is okay, extra work, and that's pretty much it. That's as far as it goes. But they'll promise you more, but that's as far as it goes. I know from experience early in my career, and I get so many people that message me and say, Johnny, you know, I'm not going to mention agency names, but this so-and-so agent and that so-and-so agent and this company and that company, they haven't called me in 5 months. I got an extra gig on ABC, but I haven't been called in 5 months. So they get 2 acting jobs a year. I mean, really, an agency should send you out to at least, in my opinion, 7 or 8, and really solid ones. But yeah, look, what I've realized is, and another thing is, and I'll get this out there so people know, and again, in my opinion, it's a damn near fact pretty much, any agency that flat out charges a joining fee, avoid them. Because honest agencies will charge a percentage, and a very reasonable percentage, after you've gotten the gig. People that charge you a joining fee to join them, they basically survive. Their agency stays in business off of the joining fees.
Yeah, you think of it this way now. I mean, look, my first agency, and this is 87.
Yeah.
So 1987, I first joined Linda Ferguson's agency.
Yeah.
And she handled you until you were 21.
Okay.
Once you were 21, then she would pass you on to Jill's casting.
Yeah. Okay.
But Linda Ferguson, she got me the gig on Neighbours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or she sent me to the auditions.
Yeah.
Then you had, I mean, look, I did a lot of TV shows back in the 80s, but she was a really good agent.
Yeah.
Now, I found her because friends of mine at the time were part of that agency.
Okay, yeah.
And they said, look, why don't you come along, contact Linda. She's really approachable.
Yeah.
And so I did.
Yeah.
And I was getting gigs.
Yeah.
I was getting really good gigs.
Yeah.
I did All the Way. There was a TV show in the late 80s called All the Way with Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, yeah.
I was a journalist in that. My first gig, I was actually, I played a journalist in the 4 Minute Mile with Michael York.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
It was 1987 we filmed it. Yeah. There was an ABC and BBC co-production.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember the actual production company name, but it was ABC and BBC.
Yeah,
It was shown on both ABC TV here in Australia.
Wow.
And it was shown on BBC in England.
Very nice. Very
Michael
nice.
York, and I played a journalist. And it was about Roger Bannister and John Landy and their, it was lead up to the 1988 Olympics.
Yeah, yeah.
But
wow.
It was their race to break the 4 minute mile, because prior to John Landy and Roger Bannister, and I can't remember, well, I'm dreadful Australian because I can't remember which one it actually was who won the race.
Yeah.
But prior to them, no one had ever run the mile in less than 4 minutes.
Wow.
Okay, and that's what this was about. And we filmed that at Olympic Stadium in Melbourne.
Olympic Park.
Olympic Park. Yeah. That's where that was filmed at the Olympic Park.
Incredible. Yeah.
Look,
and it's all about getting it's about getting good agents, man, for those gigs. I can go on record and say that MCM is by far the best agency in Australia, which also deal with UK deals and America deals in terms of film and television.
I've never personally dealt with them, but I've heard
Craig and Dom are just absolutely magnificent. Dom, she's a sweetheart. Craig, and this is the thing. This is
Craig McMahon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Craig McMahon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did acting lessons.
Yeah, he's incredible. And a lot of people might make
a studio.
Ah, beautiful. A lot of people might misunderstand Craig. Like I've copped messages, and this is I can say this because this isn't a secret. Craig will say it himself. He has a very interesting approach. When maybe he's toned down a bit now, but back then, because when I went and I did about a year with them, about a year. I freelance now. I do my own thing. But if I ever was to get represented, hands down MCM, without question. Without question. But back when I did training with Craig and with Dom, but with Craig, he can come across aggressive. He's not. Craig is a teddy bear. I love Craig to death. He's awesome. Yeah. Here's the thing. One thing that Craig taught me very early on, back when I was green as grass. I was so new to the industry. I didn't freaking know pretty much anything at the time. And Craig says to the class, and I don't know if anyone understood it, but I sure as hell did. A couple of us did. The way that Craig talks to you, he can come across, like a little bit aggressive. But he goes to me, how on earth do you think that people in Hollywood, in those offices, how horrible are they going to talk to you? He prepares you for how it's going to be like when you're in that room auditioning. Because if a teacher is going to sugarcoat every single fucking thing, and then you go in there and all of a sudden you get a Hollywood producer really like, throw you under the bus, you're going to break, So Craig, a lot of people, I wouldn't say a lot actually, very few maybe don't understand his approach, but most do. Craig is incredible. Dom is awesome.
Yep.
When I was doing it, Emma was organizing everything for them. Now I believe Ashley's doing it. Lovely girl. I've touched base with her too. But yeah, just that would be my favorite agency, and that's the one I would recommend. Look, there's a few others that are good, but MCM is easily the top three. Easily, I would vote it number one. And then you got a few others as well. But yeah, there
are some really good ones.
There is.
Yes, you've got to be very careful.
Yeah, you do.
I joined an agency, and I inquired about this agency. And I'm not going to mention names, but I inquired about this agency, and I went along, and the agent's website looked good, and it said on there, when we represent you, we're going to list you with, what were they? There were 3 different websites she was going to list you on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like eCaster, eCaster is probably the most generic one imaginable. But the two...
That wasn't even mentioned, but it was... Okay. There was...
At2 and Showcast.
Casting Network.
Okay.
Then there was AT2 or something.
Yeah, At2.
And then there was Showcase.
Yep. So basically, the two I know of that are legit, like actually legit, is At2 and Showcased. The others are like, there's one called Star Now. It's good to put your stuff on there just for people to read, like a little.
Star Now is good, especially when you're beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Spot on.
Because you can freelance.
That's right. Yeah. Star Now is for like, when you start off. And there was one called eCaster, which is just laughable. eCaster was like, ugh. But yeah.
So anyway, this agent, she put me on. I went along to the audition for her.
Yeah.
And she absolutely loved my audition.
Yeah.
And she said to me, okay, she got me to fill out all the paperwork, and she said, all right. She said, we're going to put you on Casting Network. We're going to put you on AT2, whatever it is.
Yep.
And I said, yep, cool. And I, signed everything, and she said, okay, now we just need a payment from you, X amount.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, this is a bit unusual because
the thing
let's say it was $250.
Yeah.
Right. I can't remember how much it was, but let's say it's $250. If that agent has, say, 100 people on their books, what's that? $250 by 100, so you're looking 25,000. No, 250.
Yeah.
25,000 just for signing you up.
And the thing
That's
is,
for 100 people on there.
Yeah, and what I realized though, Brenton, is but maybe for them doing the sign up for you, they might get an itsy bitsy percentage. But a lot of that money does go to the actual provider itself. Like I know At2's cheaper. I know Showcast is astronomically expensive. Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so that.
I have to pay for them separately.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, that's interesting because normally an agency. I mean, they might. I don't know if they're gonna manage it for you. I would imagine there'd be a tiny fee. But yeah, like sometimes you just got to be careful. That's right, because if people are charging you an arm and a leg just for that alone, it's a bit shady.
Yeah.
But
So I actually went on to Melbourne Actors Meetup Group.
Yeah.
And I said, look, just sign with this agent, but they want me to pay a fee.
Yeah.
I've never had to pay fees for an agent before. And everyone said, no, don't do it.
Exactly. Spot on.
And I thought, well, I need the agent. And, you know, when you're with an agent, you're exclusive to that agent. It's like a relationship. You know?
Yeah.
You're exclusive. And so I thought, well, what am I supposed to do? So, I relinquished. I paid the fee.
Yeah.
I said to the agent, I said, look, have you ever heard of Showcase? And she said, yeah, you're not ready for that.
Yeah.
And I thought, hang on. I've done a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I've been represented a lot.
Yeah.
And I had really good,
yeah,
shows and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
who is
at her website again, and it said we will list you with what was it, a casting network.
Yeah.
We'll list you with AT2, we'll list you with Showcase.
Yeah.
So she's actually falsely said she was going to list you with all three.
Yeah.
And then she's turned around and said, no, you're not ready for that.
That's insane. And who is she to say you're not ready for that? It's like, that's what shits me. I mean, that's what I love about MCM. Like, I had 1 year with them, but, one pretty good year. And not once did Dom or Craig ever say to me, you're not ready for that. They just said, continue on how you're going. You're doing great. And we'll see what happens in the future. There's you can tell how someone is just from the way they talk to you. If they're going to say, oh, you're not ready for that, it's like, well, fuck you. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't look, who is she to say? I mean, yeah, she's an agent. She's going to put you forward for stuff, but she's not in your shoes. You know your talent. No one knows you better than you. That's how I see it. You can look.
Well, one told me she was going to get me auditions to be male security, give a prison guard in Wentworth and all the rest of it, because Wentworth was big at the time. Yeah. And I thought, cool. Never put me forward for anything. Yeah. Just took the money.
Yeah, that's how a lot of them are.
Another agent, and I'm not going to mention names again, but this agent actually approached me. Yeah. And I don't know if she approached me and she said, Brenton, she said, really like your look, really like your bio, your history, your reels, all the rest of it. Yeah, yeah. Would love to represent you. Can you please send me more headshots? Yeah. So I sent everything. I said, blah blah. Thank you for your interested. For your interest, here's all my material that you asked for. Yep. She wrote back. She said, Brenton, we've got so many people who look like you.
Oh gosh.
And I thought, why did you approach me in the first place?
Exactly.
We'd like to represent you.
Exactly. It's it's amateur hour, and you can tell which ones are amateur hour and which ones are legit. It's just crazy. And this is a laugh. Like, I haven't been on @2 or on it's actually Showcast. We were calling it Showcase for the last 20 minutes. It's Showcast. That just proves that look, if you're an established actor, it's good to have those, because that's what people ask for a lot of times. But then again, you don't even need those to get somewhere. I'm currently not on them. I couldn't even pronounce Showcast properly. The thing is, you can get somewhere as long as you make your own contacts, your own networking. Even Showcast, which is legit, even @2, which is legit, they just want to make money as well. You know what I mean? And now, look, we live, Brenton, I honestly believe this, we live in the greatest era of our lifetime. Gary V says, I don't know, are you familiar with a person called Gary V? Gary Vaynerchuk?
I know Gary V, yeah.
He's fucking brilliant, isn't he? He's fucking insane. And he goes, we live in the greatest fucking era, in his exact words, fucking, he loves to swear, really, because a passionate guy, like people might say, oh, why do you, like, I swear a lot. Not a lot, I've toned down a bit. But Johnny, why do you swear? Because I'm fucking passionate and I want to get a point across. So if I drop an F-bomb here and there, who the fuck are you worried? Are people worried about the F-bomb? Are they concerned with the F-bomb? Or are they focusing on the stuff I'm explaining to them? Because if they're not listening to what I'm saying and they're just worried about an F-bomb, then they're not gaining anything, are they? But he says we live in the greatest fucking era. 2018, we've got digital distribution. We can promote ourselves to the moon and back. And that's what a lot of people are doing with Facebook, with Instagram. And now we don't need @2 and Showcast. We don't need them. Like it's an extra thing for people to have if they choose to. It's preference, if you ask me. But it's not surprising that a lot of agencies will put you onto these sites because they are legit and they want to show that that's how they work through those sites, and they get a fee, to manage your site, on there, and they say they make you look for, they say that they're going to get you work and they're looking for work, and they're going to get you on this and they're going to get you on that, but then you look
a fee off of you for joining their agency. Yeah. They don't have to work.
Exactly. It's like, why work if you've already made several hundred?
I could start up an agency, do exactly the same thing, and say, look, we're only going to charge you 200. Those people will charge you 250. We'll charge 200.
Exactly.
Get a couple of hundred people joining. 200 by 200 is $40,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's right.
And that's an annual fee. Why the hell would I need to work?
Exactly.
$40,000.
Exactly. They can stay in business off of the joining fees. That's right. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. I mean, if people have to look, a real agent, a legitimate agent, who doesn't charge you a joining fee, they're looking for work for you because they want to get paid. They want a percentage.
That's
right. But if you've paid them already,
I'm really happy with Beyond Actors.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because they did look for work for you. I mean, I was sent to auditions and everything, and I did a few bits here and there. I went to TV commercial auditions and everything. I hate TV commercial auditions.
They're a nightmare. They're a bloody nightmare.
Did you ever see that video? And this is why, because I actually teach acting for film and TV here in WA.
Yeah.
Right? Western Australian Acting Studio, that's my
beautiful
studio.
Beautiful.
Just a cheap plug there, mate.
Hey, go for it, man.
I say to my students, right, you need to stand out in an audition.
Yeah.
You need to be able to interpret the scene and do something completely different to what the director is actually looking for. Yeah. Because every actor is going to do exactly the same as what the director tells them. Yeah. You need to bring something unique.
Exactly. Spot on.
Look at it and go, okay, so just be completely different.
Exactly.
And TV commercial ones, you don't have a lot of scope.
Yeah.
And there was a video going around on Facebook a little while ago, and I wish I'd had actually downloaded the video. I've probably shared it, so it'll probably show up on one of my Facebook memories at some stage. But it was all these people auditioning for the exact same role, and they were all identical.
Wow.
Not identical in looks, but identical in what they did. There was nothing unique. And you know what? None of them stood out.
Yeah.
Not a single one of them would have stood out. I couldn't tell you any one of them that I would have cast because they were all exactly the same.
I did a few auditions and I nailed them, and I got the role. It was just a small little role. And I went to the audition and there was another 15 people that looked exactly like me, more or less the same, some were better looking than me, and the thing is, I said to myself, look, all these people, some of them look fitter than me, some of them, look better in appearance than me, and this is me with a scruffy beard and a shaved head with a bit of the oval thing happening where you can see my bald patch, and I'm like, goodness gracious. And look, I mean, honestly, I'm one of the most confident people you'll ever meet, and I think my looks are fucking brilliant. But, when you're under a microscope in an industry like that, they're going to tell you how you look because, that's how it bloody is. So I said to myself, how can I be different? Because that's the key word, different. How can I be different? Because look, maybe I'm not going to be better than them in appearance. So what can I do that is different from them where I'll stand out? Otherwise, I'm just another average Johnny. So I was good in my audition. I acted very well. My facial expressions were on point. The delivery of my lines were excellent. And the others, they stumbled. They were mumbling. They were stumbling. And I ended up getting the gig. So it's incredible how you go in there. Look, if you're going to try and be the same as them at everything, you're probably not going to succeed. If you go there thinking, how can I be different than them? because look, I can't look like them. Okay, they're different to how I specifically look, but I can change the way that I act.
Yeah. Well, with that in mind, right? Going back to Iniquitous.
Yep.
When I was auditioning for actors and actresses for that.
Yep.
Now there's a character in it. She plays it's a bank teller.
Yeah.
Right. Now we had maybe half. I think I narrowed all the auditions down to about half a dozen of each character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now in the script. Because I play the bank the bank manager. It's a very small role, about 3 lines.
Yep.
I just come on and introduce one of the characters to the other character, and I tell the female bank teller off because she's got toys on her counter.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then I turn around and I say, and I'm giving the other one who is just joining the bank that day.
Yep.
I give him a whole heap of tax forms and get him to fill out the forms.
Hey, beautiful.
While I've got my back turned, the female bank teller is supposed to flip the bird. And so during the auditions, of course, I played the role of the bank manager, and we were videotaping it.
Yeah.
I tape all my auditions. I tape rehearsals as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a must.
And the bank, this scene, I had some assistants helping me with running the auditions.
Yeah.
A director can't just audition on their own.
Yeah, that's right.
You've got to have other people.
That's right.
Anyway, we were filming it and got through the first, I don't know, maybe the first 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And then this one actress comes along,
mm-hmm.
Amberly Jade, her name is.
Yeah.
Fantastic actress. And she, every audition,
mm-hmm.
they were all just flipping the bird.
Yeah.
Came to Amberly's audition,
mm-hmm.
and I turned my back to her to hand the forms over to the other teller.
Yeah.
And she has flipped the bird, then she's pulling my pants down and dry humping me from behind, pulling faces and everything. And I turned her around and she stopped and she's rubbing her hair or something, And my assistants, they wet themselves laughing.
Yeah.
And after the audition, they said to me, "You are going to laugh so much when you see this audition back." Now I went home that night, played all the auditions on a projector because that's what I was using at the time. I was using a projector to watch everything, so I had blown up on the big screen. And which basically filled the wall. And I watched it and I sat there and I said, "That's the one." So she got the role of Claire in Iniquitous, the bank teller, because she stood out. She was different to the others.
Yeah.
She nailed it. She really,
that's right. That's right.
She brought something to the role that was different to everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. And, spot on.
There's no reflection on anyone else's acting because everyone that auditioned were really good actors.
Yeah.
Every single person who auditioned for that film were really good actors.
Yeah.
But those who really stood out.
It's the ones that stand out, That's exactly right.
She stood out, So
that's what matters.
Important. It's really important. And I know you've got a lot of listeners who are actors.
Yeah.
And some who are probably just starting out.
Yep.
It's very important when you are going for an audition to read over the script prior to auditions and work out how you can do something differently.
Exactly. Spot on. That's exactly right. That's all I ever say. Being unique is what gets you to the promised land, Because
sometimes you've got to be brutal. Sometimes you've got to do stuff that is way out of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
The movie The Omen, the original Omen,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I don't remember the little boy. I know it's Damien, but I don't remember what the actor's name was that played him. When he went in for his audition, the director, who's the director? Something Bonner.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. Something Bonner. He said, "You've got to attack me."
Yeah.
So this little boy went up and started hitting him. He hit him between the legs. He knackered him, and the director was buckled over and said, "Yep, it's got the role."
Call an ambulance.
and he was a little blonde boy. They dyed his hair black.
Yeah, wow.
But I mean, you've got to. It's the way you do things. It's
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's spot on.
If the director says you've got to attack me, attack.
Exactly. You've only got one chance. Sometimes you get a second, but most of the time you only get one, and you got to capitalize. You got to take advantage. You're in the moment. You got to go. Balls to the wall. You got to go all out. It's really important.
I did a film a few years back, Chocolate Strawberry Vanilla.
Okay.
And I loved that film. I loved doing that.
I've heard of it. I think
prior to that one, I'd actually auditioned for a film that was going to be made, and there were production issues. Something happened. It didn't happen. Anyway, I went to when I went to the audition for the first film. The character I was auditioning for was supposed to spit on another character.
Oh wow! Okay.
And now I didn't want to do the spitting.
Yeah.
I would have if it was permitted. And I said to the director, I said, "Look, the script calls for spitting."
Yeah.
I said, "I don't want to do that unless it's okay."
Yeah.
And he said, "No, don't do the spitting."
Yeah.
But I gave a really good performance in the audition. Yeah. And that director came to me and he said, "Look," he said, "We're not going to go with that film now, but we've got this other one, Chocolate Strawberry Vanilla.
Yeah.
And we'd like you to audition for the role of Dylan."
Oh wow!
Now Dylan was mentally challenged character.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay. He said, "We're going to audition you next week," and I thought, okay, cool. I was, I teed up to go to an audition.
Yeah. And
I sat there now to get into the character. I watched What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yes, brilliant film. Brilliant.
And I watched episodes of Blue Heelers that had a character called Clancy in it. Now, Clancy
yes, I remember Clancy. Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So I looked at both of them and I modelled my character on them, and I practiced and I practiced and I practiced.
Amazing. Yeah.
And then I went to I was running my video store.
Yeah.
And staff member that was supposed to come in and look after the store while I was off at auditions could not make it. So I called up the director. I called up Stuart Simpson. I said, "Look, I'm not going to be able to make the auditions." I said, "I am so sorry. I'm going to have to knock this back." And he said, "Have you got Skype?"
Oh yeah,
Yeah. He said, "You've got a webcam." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay." He said, "Let's audition through Skype."
Amazing. Yeah. Technology these days.
Okay. So we teed up a time and we got on Skype and we were, it was a webcam. So basically you saw from it was head and shoulders.
Yeah.
And Stuart said to me, he said, "Look, you nailed it." And he said, "I'm going to talk to the producer, and I'm going to I'll come back to you."
Yeah.
And he said, "I'll put it this way, it's between you and one other person. I'll let you know."
Wow.
I got a phone call within a few hours, and he said, "I want to offer you the role of Dylan."
Oh, wow. Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you've seen chocolate strawberry vanilla.
I've heard of it. I might have seen a little bit of it, but I've heard of it. It rings a bell.
It was a good film. It was a bit out there. It's a dark, very dark comedy.
Yeah.
It's about an ice cream seller who is obsessed with a character from a TV show, and he believes that she's coming to visit his ice cream van, and in his delusion, he ends up organising a date with her, and he shows up at the TV station.
Oh,
and of course things don't. But he is picked on. He is bullied by this drug dealer. But Dylan was his best mate. And Dylan was always coming to the ice cream truck and always buying chocolate. It was chocolate ice cream in a cone. And it was always chocolate ice cream, but my first day on set, and we were doing a fantasy episode of the TV show, where the main character imagined himself in one of the roles, and Dylan also is in there as well. And we filmed it two ways. We filmed it as Dylan, as with the mental
deficiency.
And we filmed it with him straight.
Wow.
And I had to go and get changed. It was freezing. It was cold. It was winter. And I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt and shorts, and we've supposedly been surfing. We filmed it down in, I think it was Williamstown Beach, which is bloody cold.
Especially.
Anyway, I had to go and get changed, which I did. And as I was coming back, the two actors that were there, they had their back to me, and they were talking, and I heard, I think it was Kyrie and Glenn. And I heard Kyrie say to Glenn, he's going to play a really good Dylan. When I heard that, I was over the moon. These are people who, had done a lot. And for them to say that, it was a huge boost.
That's incredible.
It was a huge boost.
That's really good.
But that film, I actually didn't want that film to finish. I didn't want to finish making it. I wanted to keep going because I was having so much fun.
That's right. That's right.
And he did develop all the way through. As we were filming, there were little bits that we would add to what he did. The twitches and things like that, and the speech and things like that. And it's probably my most favourite character to have played. And I mean, I've worked with Stuart Simpson since then. We did an episode of, or it was an entry for ABC's of Death Part 2. Which he ended up just doing that as a short film. And that was a lot of fun. I played a TV cameraman, and there's all these new things flying around.
Wow, that's wicked. That's wicked. Those are the most fun. It's just, everything just goes all over the place. It's like, whoa, that's awesome.
But it was just so much fun, and I mean, look, we said before how the acting and directing can be very tiring.
It can. It
does take a lot out of you.
It does. Oh, fuck yeah. It really does,
It is fun.
It is. You got to have fun.
Passion for it. It is fun.
Exactly. There's a really good.
You can't just go in there going, I'm going to make a lot of money doing this.
That's exactly right. There's a really good saying. If you're passionate, you'll never work a day in your life. If you're passionate about the thing that you love doing, it's not work. It's literally your love. You live it, you breathe it. And that's how acting is for a lot of people. That's how directing and producing is for you. And, I love the acting. I also love directing and producing. I would love to do my own little film. It's tough. I've got mates that go to film festivals with theirs, and it's not easy. It's whether you're doing a 90-minute feature, 120-minute feature, whether you're doing a 10-minute feature, it's not easy. But you got to have fun at the end of the day. That's what it's about.
Well, that's right. Yeah. I mean, I've been making short films since I was a young tacker. I don't know if we actually talked about that.
No, I don't think
when
we
I
did.
was when I was 10.
Yeah.
I saw an advertisement for it was the South Australian Association of Screening Education.
Ah, yep. Nice.
Now, this is 1980, right?
Yeah.
And they were running a filmmakers retreat. It was very similar to what we now know as the 48-hour film challenge.
Yeah.
Right? And they advertised to actors and filmmakers aged 10 and up.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously, they wanted actors aged 10 and up. And they wanted filmmakers who knew what they were doing.
Yeah, of course.
Now, I wanted to be an actor. Oh, God, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be an actor since I was about 5 years old.
Yeah.
And, when I was 5, my parents took 5, 7, something like that.
Yeah.
My parents took me to see my first stage show. It was the Diary of Anne Frank. It was done by St Jude's Players in Adelaide.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still going, but they were in the 70s.
Yeah.
Some guy my father used to work with was in this production, so Mum and Dad took me to see it.
Yeah.
And I knew there and then that I wanted to be an actor.
Wow.
So
I mean, when I first saw The OC, that's when I wanted to become an actor. I was 19. I believe it would have been like, when was it? 2005, 2006, something like that, in the mid 2000s. But yeah, when The OC came out, and I actually went to OC. It's not called The OC in America. It's just OC, Orange County. But just no kidding, Brenton, just how it is in the show. Exactly. Rich. It's a rich area, rich housing. It's beautiful. And look, America's beautiful. Look, in terms of America, look, I would go there to do my acting, but this is just me. I wouldn't live there. I think Australia, we're very lucky where we are in terms of living, in terms of healthcare, in terms of a lot of things, Brenton. But America, it's a land of opportunity. It's not just for acting. It's for getting into Harvard. It's for so many other things. But living there, I mean, look, I have family in Canada. So a lot of times I would do what I got to do in America. Then I'd either bus it or I train it or I fly it back to Canada. Canada's beautiful. Canada's just how it is in Australia.
I'd love to see Canada.
Mate, Canada is beautiful.
Twin Peaks was Canada, wasn't it?
Sorry?
Twin Peaks was Canada, wasn't it?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. I'd love to see where. I mean, I didn't see the recent season of Twin Peaks, but I saw the original. Yeah. And I fell in love with the countryside there. I'd love to go.
Yeah, I was basically Vancouver, Calgary, Saskatchewan, where my family's from. Lovely town, Saskatchewan, which consists of Regina and Saskatoon, where Brock Lesnar is from. I went past Brock Lesnar's farm, the wrestler, WWE wrestler / UFC fighter again soon. He's got a massive acres and acres of farm. I mean, look, a lot of people say that Saskatchewan is boring, and Saskatoon, who would want to go and live there? You couldn't pay someone to go live. And you can go to a Canadian and tell them to move to Saskatoon in Saskatchewan. They'd laugh at you. But Brock Lesnar, he's someone that doesn't like people, frankly. And he just wants to, build a fence that's like, 12 feet tall and just lock himself in there, And Saskatchewan is quiet. It's like Wyoming in America, but it's beautiful. I love it, Brenton. I'm not someone who's into the doot doot beep beep in Los Angeles and New York. I hate it. I dread it. So I loved it in Saskatchewan. It was quiet. It was peaceful. But yeah, Los Angeles can be pretty busy. Downtown Los Angeles can be pretty chaotic, as can New York City. But that's where you got to be. That's the land of opportunity. But for me to live there, no. My personal opinion, I wouldn't live there. Too dangerous with the gun laws. It's rough. It's a different thing compared to
Yeah,
Australia.
we won't talk about politics.
Well, and Trump is president. but just in general, America's just.
I do find it funny. I will mention this. I do find it funny. The amendment. What is it? The Third Amendment, whatever it is. What is it? The Second Amendment.
Yeah. The gun laws. I think the gun laws is the Second Amendment. Yeah, and the first is freedom of speech.
We have the right to bear arms against a tyrannical government.
Yeah.
That's what it actually is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worded differently, but that's what it is.
That's what it means. Yeah.
So when are they going to use the guns against the tyrannical government?
That's right. Exactly. When?
You've got to be very careful, because if he's shot next week, someone's going to say, I heard it on Johnny K's podcast.
It's open for interpretation, but basically what we're saying is things are already getting out of control, and soon, who knows? And if they're going to wave their guns around, at least, and obviously don't shoot anyone, that's bad. But if you're going to wave your guns around as a deterrent, well, start doing responsible stuff. We look, even in Australia, we have guns for a reason. We don't have the laws that America has. Like, we use them for hunting, and I don't hunt. I think hunting is poor animals, you know.
So they got rid of,
Yeah, well, after the Martin Bryant thing, they got rid of guns like legit in Australia. There's like
20. What was that? 22 years ago.
Something like that. 95, wasn't it? 96.
We haven't had a mass shooting since.
Exactly. Spot on. I mean, look, we get gangland shootings, so we still do, but that's like saying, the people, in the hood, and I'm not referring to any race, of course, just the hood in general. Like people there, the gangs they have there, regardless of race. It doesn't matter. There's gang members that are white. There's gang members that are dark skinned, of all walks of life. So in terms of gang related, you do get that worldwide, but in terms of mass shootings, like a political agenda mass shooting, there's none of that in Australia. We've eradicated it.
Yeah.
We've pretty much gotten rid of it, So America, look, I believe a gun should be banned in America. I think cops should stick to guns and security guards. And
I think they need to think about it and go, okay, do we really need military style weapons?
Exactly, restrict them at least.
What they need to, they have the right to bear arms against tyrannical.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
they can. I mean, how many people are going to break into their homes?
Yeah,
how many? On average, 1, 2, 3. Right?
Exactly.
So have a bloody revolver.
Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need.
They don't need military-style weapons. They don't need
exactly. It's ridiculous.
Tanks.
It's ridiculous. It's insane. I don't know why they do it. It's crazy.
And they don't need guns where you can perch up on top of the building with a scope and go and look at some music concert in the distance and start shooting people.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. I mean, how does a kid in elementary school, get a freaking a sniper rifle, an AK-47, like what militants use?
Exactly.
Like, it's ridiculous. Exactly. It really is.
No one is telling them not to have a gun. Yeah. What everyone is saying is have a responsible gun.
Yeah, exactly. Spot on.
Yeah.
It's
anyway, that's enough politics.
But in America, basically, I spent most of my time in Los Angeles because that's where you got to be for the acting. I don't want to sound cliche, but out of the main, because I went all over California pretty much, and I traveled, to New York, did a few other stuff. Chicago is beautiful. In terms of Los Angeles in particular, my favorite places that I spent most of my time just having, dinners, wining and dining, and just, meeting up with people, going to their, like apartments, doing meetings, Beverly Hills was nice. I loved Beverly Hills. Venice Beach can be a little bit rough going there. It's like St. Kilda times 10, but Venice Beach is nice. It's okay. Long Beach, a little bit rough, but Long Beach can be good. Hollywood, Universal City is beautiful, Brenton. Oh my God. Universal Studios in Hollywood, incredible. The Hollywood Walk of Fame, obviously it's nice, it's iconic. The Hollywood Strip is, it's good. It's not what they make out. Like a lot of people, and I hate to burst the bubble because I like to have this sort of like a facade because I like to troll people. They think Hollywood is, all that. I mean, you've been to Hollywood. You've been to America, yeah?
Nope.
Oh, you haven't? My bad. I shouldn't assume. Wow. Well,
in my 38 years as an actor and filmmaker, I have never been outside Australia.
Holy moly, shit! Yeah. Well, that was my first time as well.
I've never had the opportunity.
Yeah.
Because everything that I made in the past was just short film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, of course, acting.
Yeah.
But with Iniquitous and with the one that I'm writing at the moment, which is Wildage, Spirit of the Eagle.
Yeah,
right? That's the one that's going to be filmed up in the Kimberleys.
Yeah.
Those ones I'm hoping to tour with.
Yeah. You go up there and promote and all that.
Overseas with it.
Yeah, promotional work. Yeah, but look, let me tell you, Brenton. Let me tell you, Hollywood is not what people make out to be. Like you honestly, and I'm not. This isn't an exaggeration. Hollywood is one street, one main street. I mean, Hollywood as in the suburban area, sure. But the actual, be-all, end-all of the glorified Hollywood is one strip. It's probably about 350 meters. I am not over-exaggerating. 400 top, not even. But it's way under half a kilometer. It's literally, how would I explain it in Melbourne terms? It's like
Swanston Street.
I would say it's not even that, Brenton. Really, it's like, have you ever? Okay, Knox City. Have you been to Knox City?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like from where the Irish, beautiful, iconic bar, the Irish, beautiful. It's from where plugging.
Are you talking about Osmosis or whatever it's called?
There's a Lulu bar and then there's an Irish.
Yep,
so that's a cheap plug for Irish.
You've got the Irish pub. You've got there's a Russian one across the road and all the rest of it.
Okay.
So you talk about that little strip there.
Yeah. So from where the Irish is up to where the strip ends, where the shopping center is, where it's about to begin, that's probably 350 meters. That's what Hollywood is. That's the strip of Hollywood. That's all it is. It's got an iconic theater, which is opposite the Hollywood station. It's got a Starbucks in the corner. And then that's it. It's got a few lights on the other side which go up, LED boards. And that's all it is. So now when I see an interview on BuzzFeed, they interviewed me, by the way. This is the Hollywood style. They asked me a few questions, and they didn't like the answers I gave. They're asking me, what's your favorite time in California, in Los Angeles? What's your least favorite? I said, going past Skid Row and Compton. I didn't quite go past them, but I found a way to get through them. I found an Uber that would take me, and that was rough. It was so rough. And because I mentioned that, because of the whole, you've got to be very politically correct, like astronomically politically correct. I understand equality. You know me, Brenton. I love equality. I think equality is a very beautiful thing. I think so many other stuff in terms of being who you are and loving yourself and all that, that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. And there's other stuff where I'm completely on board. But I hate when something is too politically correct. If you can't say that Skid Row and Compton is rough because you might offend the homeless people that are there, it's like I wasn't having a go at the homeless people, but BuzzFeed thought I was being arrogant and ignorant and saying, oh, well, so many homeless people, why don't we just get rid of them? All I was saying is it's rough. But they didn't like that. So after I did an interview for like 15 minutes with them, and I said, see you later, they said, okay, before you go, Johnny, can we just redo it where you walk? And I ask you if I can, record you and ask a few questions, and you say, no, thank you. And I didn't question it. I go, yeah, okay, whatever. So if they don't end up using my interview, they can just use the part where I say, no, thank you. But they got me saying that. And then after I said that and I walked off, the lady turns around to the camera like I was being a prick. It's like, well, not everyone's going to be friendly, and I'm thinking, are you serious? Like, I just did an interview for 15 minutes with you. You didn't necessarily like what I said. So now we retook something. I did it, no problem, which I regret doing. I won't be doing that again. And then basically they're going to add, you know, that part where I walk away and I looked ignorant and arrogant and just mean. And I'm thinking, that's how Hollywood is. That's how they all fucking are. It's all fake. And the thing is, when I see a video now on BuzzFeed and other channels, you know, where they shoot stuff like interviews, like Jimmy Kimmel, where he was shooting an interview, and I can see that theater on the outside, and it's on the walk, it's on the street where they got a microphone and they're interviewing stars. You know, they've positioned the camera exactly towards the theater or a tiny bit further up, so it looks like it's good and people are going. They wait until people leave the station, so they walk up and down, so it looks like it's busy and it's glamorous. But really, when that camera goes off and everyone gets in their vans to leave, you look around and you see the homeless people, you see just a whole bunch of people just, you know, loitering. And it's really not what it is. It's glorified, not just to the moon, to the planet Galilee. I forgot the name, Galilee 581, 681, I don't know. But it's to the galaxy, it's to the Milky Way and back in terms of glorification. And I found that very amusing. And I should have known that from the start. I mean, you've never been, and you can probably understand how they like to glorify things. I mean, you know, I should have known.
Well, I mean, you know, TV interviewers and all the rest of it, they do it all the time. You know, news interviews and everything. You can see that they're all
That's right. That's right. You know, and media do that. That's right. Media do that a lot.
A particular side of a story, they won't show the full story, but they'll show a particular side of it. They've got an angle and they go, that's what we want. And they're going to cut and edit it so that.
That's right. You know, that's exactly right.
It's unfortunate because there's a whole different side to the story that they cut out.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. I mean, I had a cousin that jogs. He was doing the marathon, the Boston Marathon. My cousin Basil, and when he went to do the marathon in Boston, that's when the tragic event happened. That's just a whole other story for another time. It's just we need love and peace in the world. That's all I'm going to say. Without getting into that, because politics and talking about that, it's all a big clusterfuck. I don't even want to give attention to it. But nasty things happen in the world, and that thing happened in Boston at the Boston Marathon. And when they interviewed my cousin, they interviewed him right before the unfortunate thing happened, and he was all smiles. Yeah, I'm going to attend. I'll definitely come again. Yeah, and then after the tragedy happened, they interviewed others, you know, his friends, and they were obviously, you know, very sad. You know, words can't describe. You know, it's catastrophic. Now, what they did was, when it was all said and done, and you know, like we all had to recuperate, terrible time. They put my cousin as he was all joyous. He was, you know, very joyful, and oh yeah, I'll be back. It was great. Yeah. So they pictured him as someone who was insensitive because this tragedy just happened and you're smiling and saying, yeah, well, it was nice. I'll come back, yada, yada. So he wasn't happy with that. He didn't like it at all. And he said, that's the last time I'm doing a fucking interview. Unless this is what I say, unless an interview is live, 9 times out of 10, don't do it. Or if you're going to do it, know exactly what the fuck you're going to say. Stay neutral. Stay neutral, because if anything else follows, you don't know how they're going to use it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the world of journalism.
Yeah, spot on. That's just how it is. All right, and to let people know, it was Galilee 581, just to get it perfectly correct for the audience on the podcast. The planet Galilee 581. We pretty much covered everything, man. I think we could call it a wrap. I mean, almost 3 hours. That's beautiful. Wow. Perfect. Wow. And time just flies, like you don't even realize.
Just before we do, right?
Yeah.
Plug for the Breakfast Club.
Go for it.
People, you might have people over here in Perth who might be interested. It's on the 26th to the 28th of July at JōŽṇņy Art Centre in Kwinana. So it's JōŽṇņy is KOORLINY. If you Google a JōŽṇņy Art Centre, you can. They've got their ticket site. You need to book through the theatre. And we go on, like I said, 4 weeks tomorrow. So it's the 26th of July. We've got nighttime. We've got 26th, 27th, and 28th at 7 30, I think, is curtain.
Yep.
And on Saturday 28th, we've also got 2:30 matinee. Only 4 shows, and like I said, it is the first official Australian stage adaptation of Don Hughes' The Breakfast Club. So
that's going to be good.
Who's familiar with the film, and everyone pretty much is, come along, see the show. It's going to be absolute blast. You guys are going to have so much fun with it.
Incredible.
And, tickets are selling, so you've got to be really quick. And but there are still some good seats available for each of the performances. So
beautiful.
And
Iniquitous, that's going to be good when it's out as well.
Iniquitous is going to be a fantastic film. It's
bloody
so
oath.
highly polished. The script is highly polished.
Yeah, I can't wait for it, man. Honestly, can't. I think it's going to be really good. It's gonna it's going to be fantastic.
And then like I said, the one I'm working on at the moment, the one I'm writing at the moment is Wildage, Spirit of the Eagle. Now, for those who don't know what Wildage is, Wildage is actually Noongar, which is an Aboriginal tribe. It's Noongar for eagle. And it's about Aboriginal boy who's out on his first walkabout, and walkabout is the white man's term. But it's his rite of passage, and he rescues a wedge-tailed eagle from a snare trap. And it's all about the bond that this Aboriginal boy has with this eagle.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's going to be a beautiful film, man.
Oh, wow, that's fascinating. That's
so much research has been put into this, and I've interviewed Noongar elders, Aboriginal elders.
It's always good to do stuff like that too, man. Those kind of films are really good. They're really good to watch. Eye openers.
And I mean, it's I had to do all the research. And
you have to.
I reckon I've got about 500 documents.
Oh, wow.
On my computer from research, and because if it's not culturally accurate, it's going to be a joke. So
that's right.
It has to be very accurate.
Exactly. Spot on. 100%. That's exactly right. Spot on.
But that's going to be a beautiful film. Iniquitous and Wildage will both be filmed in 6K.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible. That's wicked.
So imagine the Kimberleys with all its beautiful scenery.
That's the first thing I thought of. Holy macro.
So Baz Luhrmann's Australia, I think, is filmed in 4K.
Yeah.
So this is going to be even more vibrant than that.
Wow.
Imagine with the budget of technology.
Oh, man, I really look forward to it, man. Insane. And I'll tell you what, Brenton, when you do go to America, my friend, the 2 favorite places I loved were Santa Monica. Beautiful. Santa Monica, you get the Ferris wheel, you get a massive beach, people doing yoga on the beach. The beach goes for miles on end. You got a market. It's like a Victoria market. It's like Caribbean Gardens, but it's on a pier and it's on the ocean, and it goes for like 3 kilometers long. It is just, it's extravagant. It is incredible. Santa Monica and Malibu. Malibu is very nice as well. So be sure to check that out. Those were my 2 favorite when I stayed in Los Angeles. Those 2 are my favorite, Malibu and Santa Monica. Hey, man, it was good having you on. It was a pleasure, an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast. Stick around, and once we go off the air, we'll talk a little bit more over the phone. But, man, it was an absolute blast. We nailed it, man. We nailed it big time. No problem at all, my friend. And, guys, make sure you check out everything to do with Brenton Foale. Go on his Facebook page, the groups that he's got. And, man, absolute pleasure, my friend. Stick around. We'll chat a bit more now offline. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Johnny K. We're going off the air now. Hope you enjoyed it. First time, thank you for listening. Take it easy. And if it's easy, take it.